Did I have that open up in the right thing?
Okay.
So do not swear! Do not swear, Genki!
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch Big Brother? Did you ever watch Big Brother?
Yeah, maybe not.
You
maybe
didn't?
like 15 years ago.
Yeah, 15. I was saying 15 years ago. Do you remember when?
Like 20 years ago.
Well, it must have been 20 years ago now. Do you remember when Davina McCall would always give that warning at the front of the show? Do not swear. And then do you remember Bo Selector?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He like dressed up as a... Some of the characters now, you go back, they're a little bit offensive, or you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he used to do a Jimmy Savile character, and that's before we knew about the whole.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get into that now. I need to tweet out that we've gone live, starting sync. I wonder if people can hear the reshot music. Should be able to. It's on the YouTube channel. I don't have a link to.
Oh.
Hang on. That my own thing showing me that I've gone live.
Oh yeah. I clicked on the live tab and then it's there.
Okay, here we go.
Can't hear the weed.
I'm gonna get into that now. Okay, so I've got this. Let me copy that link. This reshot music is loud. Let me turn that down.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear the music on the YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like ask people about
Your voice may be a bit low, but
my voice might be a bit low. Okay. What do I have this microphone set to? I've forgotten what that means, man. Jesus Christ. I need it set to this one. Maybe I got it set to the wrong thing. I'll just raise the gain, right? Okay, I need to tweet that we have gone live. Wait, I'm just reading myself. Genki, I just tweeted out that we're live. Could you please retweet? What is it? Could you please retweet it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, someone posted a long message in the Discord. I'll read that in a sec. Right. Now I need to check.
Oh, wait, let me check. Oh yeah, your volume's a bit better now.
Oh, let me check on this. Right, so when I'm talking, like I'm going up to yellow bar. So hopefully you sound alright. I'd have to get someone. Oh, hi Jago! Hello! You can hear it, you can hear us both and music. How is our volume? I think I'm slightly hitting red bars. So I don't really want to raise the volume too much. I'm going to pull this mic closer to me, or maybe it's the set, because you can put different settings. Where's that little instruction thing that came with it that explains what those bloody things on the symbols on the back of it meant? Oh God, I've lost it. I can't find it, Genki.
Huh? Okay. Jago says he sounds fine, so.
Oh, I sound fine. Okay. Well, I won't bother with it then.
Yeah. If it does sound low, then yeah, please let us know.
Hang on. I need to. Edit. Right, hang on. This is full start. Ignore what's on the screen right now. Ignore it. I just need to do something. Which one is it? it that one? Hang on. Oh, wrong screen. Right, hang on. I am a dummy. Let me figure out this one. Okay, it's this one. With
Oh,
the...
I haven't looked at the top 30 yet. I'm just gonna have a quick look.
You're looking at top face. See that situation?
See, I've spoken even on there. I doubt it.
It's there. No, it's there. It's there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's there. It took a hard drop though.
It wasn't in the top 10 though, yeah.
In terms of percentage, it's gone down. Right. Okay. Jago, can you gather people for us, please? Jago, please, can you please retweet my tweet that I did about the show starting? Because I'm running late today, so I haven't even I wonder if I can DM people. Let me do it on this tablet though. Every time I do it on there, like, it sends out. That's something I don't want it to do. Hang on. Oh, wait, let me just retweet. Oh no, maybe I just need the link.
Oh, Forspoken was 12. Not too bad. I thought it'd be like much lower drop.
What? It's
still not. Oh, and there's the Gran Turismo bundles. Okay.
Yeah, the bundles there. It's the percentage that you have to kind of look out for, like the actual like percent that is.
Oh, the percent is dropped down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where's the share button for this video?
Okay. Horizon, One Piece.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, yeah, it's. I mean, I was gonna ask you like later if like about the Harry Potter game because I don't know how it's tracking. Like, really, I don't
it's
know
been
how
tracking. It's been tracking well.
I know it was still better than Forspoken, but like,
I think so.
Better.
I said it could, because don't forget the SKUs are split up, right? Because they delayed the PS4 and Switch versions. PS4's coming out in April, and then Switch I think is in July or something. Maybe July, did they say? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Let me just Jago, I need to let people know that this. Have they changed this? Did this? Ugh, try not to swear because of the nonsense that's going on Twitter. New message. I want to send a message, but I don't want it to be a group message. And every time I do this, it's like grouping them up. No, I don't want a group message. It's so annoying. Is this going to be a group message? Why can't I do like what I did before, where you like message loads of people, but it was individual people? Why can't you do that anymore? I don't want a group message. It looks dumb.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do. It's on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm DMing. I try and DM the people I used. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how that works.
Me neither. People to come and look at our thing. It's gonna do a group message. Oh, for God's sake! I can't do anything about it. They've changed the settings, so it's anyway. Like, why did they do that? Come through. So people think I'm a dummy. Why would I put them in a group message? Like, it doesn't give you any choice. They've changed it so you can't do the individual message thing. Anyway, hopefully people are not too annoyed about that. Gang, hurry up and join the stream. Thank you, Jago, for the message. Is anyone watching us, Genki? Let's see.
Oh yeah, there are some people. How many? I'm not sure.
Oh, there's a couple of people. Hello, Zombie
Hello,
TechPad. Welcome.
Zombie.
Rigo Romero. Yeah, Rigo. Nice to see you. Jeez, I don't think any company's ever going to fix the special edition pre-order stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you mean for the
Probably for Zelda, no?
For the Zelda one, I actually managed to get.
Yeah.
I managed to get one, but I ordered it
Really?
from Shop 2. Yeah, as soon
Oh,
as Shop
Shop
2.
2.
Yeah, as soon as
Okay,
Shop
that's
2
cool.
went up, like they tweeted it. I was like, well, I'm straight away.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get it from there. Because who
Okay.
knows
This
what.
one shouldn't be so bad because it's not like a Nintendo
Yeah,
exclusive or
exactly.
anything like that.
I didn't manage to
So
get the
hopefully
amiibo
shop
yet.
around. Oh no? Oh, not the.
No,
Oh,
because
okay.
they didn't
That's
have
fine.
it listed at
How
Shop
much
2.
is it
It's not
in
on.
pounds?
I don't know, but
How much it is in pounds?
I
Is it
imagine
like
it'll be like.
15 or 20? I don't know
No,
what the
I
prices
think it'd
are.
be like 15 maximum.
Oh, okay.
But you
That's
know
not
me,
bad.
I want to play I want to play the RRP, the recommended retail price, and the way you do that is by buying from the
They call that in America again?
Nintendo.
You know.
They call it MSRP, I think. It's the same thing, but yeah. I want to. I don't want to pay a penny over the recommended retail price, Genki. And the way you do that is you buy from the Nintendo UK store. They only sell them at retail price. Amazon marks them up like a lot because they mark them up a lot. Okay, Jago says the Amiibo isn't anywhere in the UK yet. It seems. Yeah, Jago, I've looked. Believe me. I need that sexy Amiibo. Oh my god, I had an Amiibo present when I saw that. When I saw that on the thing. on the direct.
Jodie. Calm down, Jodie.
The only thing I'm disappointed with, there's only one Amiibo. Breath of the Wild had like 20 million Amiibo.
Yeah.
There's just one.
Maybe. Do you think they'll release another one closer? Because like they still had that Switch OLED, which could be real. Still.
That could be
I
real.
don't know.
But what they do with the OLEDs is they always like, it's always like a month before something like that when they release them. So yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, we still have 3 months and 3 months.
Game
Almost
Killer, you
exactly
got
3
it.
months.
You got them both. Well done.
Nice. Yeah, I managed to get them on. It was sold out on the Nintendo store in Japan, but I managed to get it on like a Big Camera website.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's good, yeah.
It's
Okay.
good they had them at different places, so you can
Exactly.
have a better chance.
I did see that Danny Bivens, he tweeted out that the Nintendo the Nintendo store in Japan has like as in the Nintendo, like my Nintendo store, the online one.
Yeah.
They're selling like different SKUs where you can buy it without the game, or you can buy it with a digital code instead of the game, and all this nonsense. Yeah. Genki,
You can
give
buy
me.
just the box without the game.
Jago, what are you saying?
can buy-
Genki, give me. Look, what's he talking about?
give you. No, you can buy just the box, like the collector's edition box, without the game. Like it has all the other stuff, like the art book and the poster thing and the pins, but just doesn't have the game in it. And that's like 7,000 yen for that one. So like if you can find the game cheaper separately, that's probably like the best.
Oh,
deal.
yeah. They're doing what they did with like the Xenoblade 3 collector's edition. I'm still salty about that whole situation. I don't want to talk about it. I'm salty.
Fire Emblem one.
Well, I got that one because that wasn't an exclusive one.
Okay. Yeah, that's same here in Japan.
Although I got it on the Nintendo, whatever UK My Nintendo store, whatever that thing's
Oh
called.
yeah.
Okay.
They're hiding like half the pins because maybe it's like spoiler territory or something.
Oh, wait, I didn't
They only,
notice
like,
that.
only
Is
showed
that
like
right?
one of the pins. Yeah.
Really. Okay, so we are running a bit late, but so let's get started. Sorry about that, everyone.
yeah,
I was like, you'll see. I did this like really long tweet thread.
I want the amiibo and the collector's edition, says Jago. Yeah.
You didn't order it yet, Jago?
Oh my god.
You gotta get moving. If you want it, you need to get moving.
It seems like in the UK it's like hard to pick up. Yeah, the amiibo's not released yet in the UK. That sucks. So hopefully they put it out soon and put it everywhere.
Yeah, I noticed they all went up in France yesterday, and the initial shipment for Tears of the Kingdom in France is. And I thought this when I saw it. I saw Pierre tweet it out. I thought, is this for the whole of Europe? Like, it's just France.
Oh.
It's like the initial shipment, like just retail shipment for the game is like 800,000.
Oh.
And I was like, what? That's just France? I thought it was the whole of Europe. It's not. It's just France. So they are.
No, yeah, not yeah. Yeah, that's their payday for like the whole year.
Yeah. So let's get started, everyone. Okay, maybe we'll load this music down now. If I can find it. Who doesn't like the Wii Shop music? Okay, there we go. Better. Okay, that was a bit abrupt, wasn't it? I don't know how. There's no good way of lowering it down. Hello everyone, welcome, and welcome to my co-host Genki. How you doing?
Hey Jodie. Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right, thanks. Running a bit late today. Sorry about that, everyone. I was like finishing this tweet thread that I wanted to finish last night, but I didn't manage to get it done. We can, if we have time, we can go over that. And the evidence that I've been gathering these photos and videos and stuff for ages about the scalping, PS5 scalping that's been going on in Japan. So yeah, we can talk about that a bit. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So much to talk about, in fact, I could not fit it all in the title of this actual show. Okay, so what we're going to talk about. Hang on, let me look at that DM you sent me, Genki. Where's that? I think you DM'd me what you wanted to talk about. Okay. Oh, you DM'd me the thing. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is Nintendo financials were announced. We got the weekly Famitsu sales. We got the Nintendo Direct. LEVEL-5 is back, baby. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. And Genki might have a slight rant about the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King deal, and basically their comments, or the POS CEO, as I'm gonna call him, Bobby Kotick, basically saying that Japanese companies dominate the entire game industry. That to me, that comment astounds me. That is factually, like, demonstrably incorrect. Like, it's demonstrably incorrect, right? So I don't even know why he would say that. So yeah, let's start with the weekly Famitsu sales. Well, let's first of all, actually, let's start by looking and shouting. We're going to shout everyone out. So I did say hello to everyone, but that was in the pre-show, quote unquote. So hello to Jago, welcome. Zombie Tech Pad, Rigo Romero, Vinnie Mac, hi Vinnie Mac, Game Killer 64. Yeah, that's everyone we got in the chat at the moment. Welcome, thanks for coming along. And oh yeah, please hit the like button, please. And if you can, J2 Blue, hi, J2 Blue engage. I need to turn that off. Oh my gosh, can I mute? I just need to mute my phone because this is gonna keep going off. Mute my phone, not like that. How do I mute my phone? I hate this phone, by the way. I don't keep saying I need a new one, but I really do. This phone is just so crap. Okay. Yeah. Hi, J2 Blue. Engage. How's that game? Did I not just mute this thing? Is this the other? Now my tablet's going off.
Oh, okay. Sounds crazy.
I need to mute it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do not disturb.
Yeah.
I'll set it on. It's on do not disturb. Do not disturb me. We're gonna go through. What's thing I was gonna say? Nice. So I haven't got a link open for everything yet. But yeah, if we can watch like trailers or whatever if you want to, for some of the stuff that was announced. But yeah, hi, welcome everyone. So
Hey, welcome.
We are going to start off as we always do by going over the weekly Famitsu sales. But don't forget, if you wish to actually join us on the show and call in, you can do so via Discord, and I will get a invite link.
Oh yeah, you can put it in the chat.
So generate a new link. I don't know why it always does this one, this limited one. But yeah, here we go. Okay, so then you can join our Discord. You join the Discord, then you can join us in the call. And
Oh, hey.
please wait in the waiting room, and then type in the notice board chat that you want to join, so that I can see it, because otherwise because I've only got like a single screen set. I'm not a professional streamer or anything. So I've only got a single screen setup. Normally streamers have two screens for the reason why, with the windows and everything. It's so much easier to manage. So I can only see one window at a time for the most part, unless I shrink everything, and I can't do that. I can only do that with some of the windows. So yeah, just drop a message in the notice board, and then wait in the waiting room, and we'll bring you into the on-air room to chat with us. Okay, so Genki, with that slow start, let's talk about these Famitsu sales. So, wait, not that one. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Right, everyone can see this, right? Actually, I'm probably showing the wrong thing. Oh no, that's fine actually. So this week's Famitsu sales were very, very interesting, very enlightening. I feel like it's provided us more, data with how things are going in the Japanese game industry. So with the sales, this is really interesting because we're back to all Switch top 10s again. There's no new PlayStation releases. They'll obviously new games will chart, and then they just gradually drop down and they just disappear, and it just goes back to all Switch again. So that's what happened because there was no new releases this week, and Forspoken, as I've written here, took a nosedive as expected. And then I thought the second week drop for Story Seasons was good. So we have this is the actual Famitsu, the website. I can use the Google Translate magic. There we go. So I'll make that easier for people to see. Okay, so at number one this week, returning to number one, because didn't it get knocked down by, what did it get knocked down by? It got knocked down by Fire Emblem, I guess. Yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got knocked down by Fire Emblem. It's gone back up.
Fire Emblem was number one, and then the.
And then was it Story of Seasons? Yeah, the farming game. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that sold 31,000, initial 31,000, approaching it's 4.8 million. Oh my god, this translation is wild. This is bottles. Units physical alone. So there you go. Splatoon 3 sold 14.2 thousand. Is that number 2? Number 3 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, sold an additional 13.8 thousand. Number 4, Fire Emblem Engage, so that's sold an additional 12,000. And if we look on the, so this is an install base where they put the kind of work out the percentages and everything for the drops. So if we look at, let's see here, Fire Emblem Engage, so its drop was 55% from last week, right? And then we talk about Story Seasons here. There we go, 77% drop, right? So Story of Seasons, Bokujo Monogatari is the Japanese name. So this I thought was a decent-ish drop, 77%. It is a remake, so it's a remake of a GameCube game. It's not a brand new one because the previous Story of Seasons was a brand new entry, and I think that was like 100k or something, which this is not even close to that. But it's a total of 50k, so that's okay. So that's number 5. Number 6 is Minecraft for an additional 7.7 thousand. Number 7 is Nintendo Switch Sports, 7.4 thousand. Number 8 is Mario Party Superstars, 6.3 thousand. Number 9 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 6.1 thousand. Number 10 is Momotaro Dentetsu with additional 4.4 thousand. So yeah, and then we've got some number 11 Dragon Quest still hanging in there. It's still there. It's Dragon Quest Treasures, which had a subtitle in the Japanese one, but doesn't for the English title. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't think actually no, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a subtitle for the English name. Yeah, but this one does apparently. I don't know why. Yeah. So then we're going to talk about the second week of Forspoken. So second week. So what was the drop for that then? Let's have a look here. Ouch. Ooh, that's kind of big. Now I was expecting a 90% drop, but it's 86%. Is how much it dropped. Can everyone see that? Is this too small? So I know it comes up really small on the like the actual screen, like the share screen. So I have to. I've made it 200%. Let me see what everyone's saying. Can you see that?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see the numbers.
Okay. So Kike, yes, you can join the waiting room when you're ready, and we'll bring you in after we've gone over the Famitsu sales. Right, so where's the window I was looking at? Right here. Okay, so Forspoken. So yeah, I was expecting a 90% drop for this. By the way, it just immediately dropped out of the Amazon Japan top 100 best-selling games. There, it's just gone, just dropped out. So that's why I was expecting it to drop out. So it's kind of good to look at that because it kind of gives you a real because it's like it reflects what's going on in the market at large, right? It kind of gives you a real-time insight into like how fast these games are dropping down because it's updated hourly. So because that dropped out so fast, I expected a big drop for this. And also like there's the weekly Geo chart, the Tsutaya, and what's the other one? Geo, Tsutaya, and well, those are the main ones basically that you can check to see. There's Komeg, and I know it's not called Komeg. I'm not going over this again. I know I'm not saying the names right. That is what I'm calling them. Going over this again. Okay, so yeah, Forspoken, that had a 86% drop. Now, it's typical for RPGs to have like an 80% drop would be because they're just so front loaded. You know, they don't tend to have RPGs just don't really have like long legs like some other games that we're seeing here with like, you know, Momotaro and Smash and stuff like that. It's just they're not those sort of games, right? So normally you'd expect that sort of drop. So this is like, you know, above that. And then quickly go over. So I guess I'm not going to go over the minutiae of the full top 30. Obviously that would take ages. We need to get Genki's input as well. So when it comes to how many PlayStation games is on here, now this is going to be an interesting point of discussion because of how many PlayStation 5 sold this week, which we'll go over in a second. But what we have here is Gran Turismo 7, which we know is a bundled game. Obviously, that is part of a bundle. That's why this PlayStation 5 version of it keeps occurring here. We know it's a bundle, and that's the reason. So that's number 13 with 3.7. So bear in mind, Forspoken released the week before last, so it's still in the chart, obviously, right? Gran Turismo 7 is a bundled game. Oh yeah, so we should talk about Disgaea 7. The Switch version is still here and it sold an extra 2.7 thousand. Other two versions are dropped out of the chart, they're completely gone. We've got One Piece Odyssey, the PS4 version here at number 20. I believe oh my god. Bandai Namco is the biggest, one of the biggest L's I've ever seen in my life. But Genki, look at this nonsense, right? I laughed when I saw this. I literally laughed out loud.
What was that?
I'm like, Bandai Namco this is such an L. Look at this. This is one of the biggest L's I've ever seen. Right. So the game that just came out, One Piece Odyssey, came out a
Yeah.
few weeks ago, right? PS4 version is at number 20. The PS5 version is still hanging on at number 26. What's in the middle? One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 on the Switch is at number is at number 24. Sorry, that's yeah at number no the the PS4 version of One Piece Odyssey is 22. Sorry, it's messed. The translation's jacked up the numbers. But yeah, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 Genki, this old ass game that came out in 2020, right? It's charting, and it sold nearly 200,000, compared to the PS4 version of One Piece Odyssey 45,000, and the PS5 version of One Piece Odyssey 34,000. Why is this game? And I've explained why this game's charting before. I'm sure you know why it's charting.
Oh yeah.
It's because Bandai Namco, in their wisdom, they've got this weirdo policy, and it is a thing because people looked at this, like there's certain studios they will put games on Switch, and then certain like anime license games they will put on late. Like it's been a pattern with them, and they won't put anything from Bandai. They've got multiple studios, but like actually Bandai Namco Studios, the studio that's called that, is called Bandai Namco Studios. They refuse to put none of their games they put on Switch at all, right? Not because they can't run. I don't believe that just all of those games just can't run. They just don't want to do it, really. Anyway, so the reason this is charting is because... Oh no, what have I done there? I don't mean to do that. So the reason One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is charting is because One Piece, there was a recent movie, One Piece Red, which was released last year. And it's one of the highest grossing movies in Japan ever. And One Piece is like, I think it's like 20th or 25th anniversary of the manga. I don't know if it's 20th or 25th, I can't remember. Anyway, it's been around for a long time. This manga's been around for a long time. So yeah, there's the celebrations for the anniversary and everything. So One Piece is hot. One Piece is hot. And then people are like, oh, God, I want a One Piece game. And people with a Switch, right? What's the most recent One Piece game that's come out on Switch? It's One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. So this game, One Piece Odyssey, if this had been a Switch, it would have sold gangbusters. But the sales were kind of underwhelming of One Piece Odyssey, because the audience is just for this is on Switch, really. So this game was out. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 was out of the chart for years, and then came back in the chart last year when the movie One Piece Red, after the movie released, it started reappearing in the charts. And last month, not last month, sorry, the month before last, December 2022, it sold 30k in that month alone. This old game. That's what's happened. And then yeah, a couple other things I want to comment on here, Genki. So we got Horizon Forbidden West. That's a bundled game, right? 1.7 thousand, and then Bayonetta 3. It's back in the chart. So some people said this is because it's got a discount. It's got a big discount because basically this is another one of those games that's in the voucher program. So now the voucher program's in the States, because I kept referring to this voucher program. I think a lot of people, we get a lot of Americans saying, like, what's this voucher program? What are you talking about? Now it's back in the States again. You probably know what I'm talking about. But it's been in Japan and Europe. They've never taken it away. It's been there for years, right? But for some reason they stopped doing it in the States. But yeah, so these are more expensive games that are in the voucher program. People get the vouchers, they get them digitally, so they have a very, very, very high digital attach rate because of that, like disproportionately high than the rest of the market, right? So the retailers kind of over ordered like Bayonetta 3. So there's copies sitting around, so they've discounted them apparently, and then this is why it's back in the chart. It doesn't mean Bayonetta 3 has sold badly. We know it sold really well because with the financial results from Nintendo, it's done incredibly. Don't forget, Bayonetta is a really niche title, so what it sold is actually really good. Genki, let's get your input. What do you think about the software this week?
Yeah, so yeah, the most surprising thing, yeah, as you said, is like PS5 games just not being there, like in the top 10 or like hardly in the top 30
Hey
as
yo,
well.
David Cost JRPGs! David Cost JRPGs is here! Hi David! That's the first time you've ever come
Oh,
to this
hey,
show. That's why I'm shouting him out, sorry. Oh no, I gotta laugh at this. I gotta laugh at this. J2.
what's he said?
He said One Piece floppers.
That's creative.
One
One
Piece
Piece.
floppers.
Kaiser Player says Pirate Warriors 4 is the better game compared to Odyssey.
Is it? I haven't played either of
Maybe it's
them.
more fun or something. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god, One Piece floppers. I'm using that, J2. I'm using that. Sorry, continue, Genki. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but yeah, in terms of the One Piece, yeah, it's just like, yeah, the main market for it is probably on the Switch, and yeah, I don't know, like maybe people don't have enough. Like, yeah, the PS4 market is kind of dying, so that's why the sales are so low, just 45,000 for a One Piece game. It's kind of low, and a JRPG, yeah, that's quite low. And then yeah, obviously the PS5 sales are going to be low because of the PS5 software market at the moment. Yeah, but yeah, and then the Switch version of One Piece is selling good because it's on the Switch and it's probably more accessible games for like kids as well. So like kids can easily pick it up as well as adults. So yeah, that's probably why it's still continuing to sell well in this One Piece like boom time at the moment. Yeah, and apart from that, yeah, it's just this normal, same usual Switch games dominating the charts. Like Pokemon and Splatoon are back at the top, and like all the other games are kind of dropping down. Um, like mainly the PlayStation games. Yeah, for Forspoken, yeah, it kind of dropped off hard. I was hoping it would still be in the top 10 in the second week, but to see it not in the top 10, it means like yeah, the sales have been not good in Japan. So I guess they weren't expecting much sales in Japan, but it also looks like the sales, like maybe for the UK, I think it was like 16th for January, which is not great either.
Really?
And probably, yeah, and then probably the US will be similar, maybe, but because of stuff about it, and then yeah, so we'll see. It's probably be one of those games that Square Enix said will say like was disappointing
Yeah,
again.
they probably will. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. I feel like they kind of only have themselves to blame for that. I mean, the marketing, even if just the marketing had been better, then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
could have done
I don't
better.
like they delayed the game for like how long? Like 3 months or something? Or like they
Mm,
delayed it
it
like
was
numerous times, and then
numerous
like Sony
times.
told them to delay it, and they still couldn't fix it up. Like yeah, they should have like when I tried it at TGS, they should have like sent out some questionnaires to like the people who played it or something, because like I don't think they like got the right feedback.
Well,
They could
that's
have got the
funny.
feedback from me then, like that the demo
Did you
was
tell
kind of
them?
like
Did you tell them? Hey, yo,
uh,
this ain't it.
yeah, yeah, I could have said that. I could have said that to them. Like,
Yeah.
yo, this ain't it. I don't know why. Like, no, they should have asked some people. I
Maybe
would have
don't say
told
it
them.
like that.
Because
But
as soon as I touched that game, I was like, whoa, no,
oh
like,
no.
yeah, I felt something was off, but like, I wanted to give it another chance and stuff.
Mm-mm. But you bought it, didn't you?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I've only played the first few hours still. Because I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush and
Mhm.
some other games.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good game. Like the gameplay is fun, but it's not like as good as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. It
But it's
sounds
still fun. It's
unfortunate.
like the gameplay's still fun. It's kind of like Sonic Frontiers in a bit for me. It reminds me
What,
like
junkie?
the not in terms of jank, but in terms of like it's not like a 10 out of 10 game, but it's still fun to play.
Yeah.
I like the gameplay, but yeah, just like the environments and the designs, I'm not a fan of.
So that's the impression that I get, that it's not necessarily bad per se. It's just like really
Hmm.
aggressively mid.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like the controls are just very like they're not intuitive. Like you have to like really train at them to get good, and most people can't be bothered to like do that. They just want something that's more like fun, just to pick up and play.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that would be helping with the sales as well.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a game like Spider-Man. It's like it's just pick up and play
Pick
kind
up
of
and
game,
play.
right? It takes
Yeah.
like 10 minutes to like get used to the controls, and then you're into it. With Forspoken, you think it takes like an hour or two to like really
Mm,
get a grasp of
mm,
the controls. So yeah, I
mm.
think that's like the main issue.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. What's interesting though, Genki, is they didn't take feedback after that TGS demo. Like then that same, it's basically that same demo that they released like
Mm-hmm.
publicly on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
PSN store, and then people were telling them. Then they said, "Hey yo, this ain't it," and then and then they
They're like,
changed it,
oh, let's change stuff.
and then they
Yeah,
patched the demo, which is very rare for that to happen on a console demo. I hear that sometimes they do this on PC,
yeah.
Steam and
And then,
whatever, but
yeah, I'm gonna put it down for a bit because there's like I got a load of other games to play, and someone sent me the Callisto Protocol recently, so I want to try that as well. And you know, they
hold on,
announced
as
that
a
there's
gift.
no, just to borrow.
Oh, okay. I thought someone
Someone like
gifted it
sent
to
it to
you.
me to borrow. No, not as a gift. I have to send it back. But yeah, so I'm gonna play that too, and then cause they said they're releasing a new patch for Spoken recently, but they
Oh,
haven't announced when. They said that like patch is coming to fix a bunch of issues, like with the performance and optimization
hmm.
for PS5 and PC. So I'm gonna wait a bit, and yeah, cause yeah, I have like loads of other games I need to finish still, and then I'll get back to Forspoken.
I heard that the optimization on PC was particularly bad.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue on PC, but
Yeah.
yeah, on PS5 it runs okay, but yeah, there's some things they can fix.
Yeah, Forspoken, unfortunately, you know, I feel like a lot of things surrounding it could have been executed better, as you say. Like the marketing, the way they did the demo, I feel like you said they should have taken the initial feedback or or either like released that demo a lot if they had released that demo a lot earlier, if they had released it around like after TGS, which is like September, or was it September time? If they had actually released it, then they would have had time to get enough feedback. You know, if they had released it before to get the feedback and then make some changes to the controls and stuff like that. But they didn't do that, and that's something Square's not a stranger to releasing these feedback demos. They've done it before. They did it with Octopath Traveler and stuff like that, right? So I feel like they could have done that. But yeah, I don't know. They just they just put it out there. I think they wanted it out. Um, when did it release again, Genki?
Forspoken,
Yeah.
it's came out on January 24th.
So I think they wanted it out before the end of the financial year. I think that's what it was. Because it got
Oh
moved
yeah,
up from to avoid God of War, which is sensible. But then they didn't want to
yeah, this
delay it
sense.
anymore outside of the financial year, and then they didn't. You can't move it any further forward because then what's coming up in June? Final Fantasy
Oh yeah,
16. You can't have it any closer to it, so it had to come
uh,
out then because they can't then release it after they released it after Final Fantasy 16. It's over. It's not gonna sell anything. So
oh yeah, they
they
can't do
had
that.
so
Yeah,
they had no choice.
I had no choice. Yeah, and they don't want to release it like too close to the Hogwarts game as well, because like that was so great. So they tried to get out before Hogwarts as well.
That
So
as well, yeah, which just
yeah,
came out, I guess. So yeah, so yeah, I feel like that's the reason why it was kind of shoved out there. Um,
oh yeah, but otherwise, yeah,
mm.
it's just pretty standard. The Switch dominating. But yeah, good to see like games like Fire Emblem doing okay.
Yeah, Fire Emblem's
And
doing
yeah,
okay, especially considering it's in again vouchers, so it's got high digital.
yeah,
Um,
that
it,
Momotaro game is killing it for Konami
oh
in
my god,
Japan.
do you know how much this game is? It's absolutely wild how much this game has sold. And they just announced
Yeah,
a
it's
new one. I
crazy.
saw they just announced a new one as well.
Oh yeah, that's a new one. It's in the Japan Direct. It's like it's called the. It's this time you're going around the world. Is it? Because like the original one's just about Japan.
Just Japan, yeah.
You like meeting historical figures and locations in Japan, but now you're going around the world, like to Africa and like France.
So you'd think
America.
they would release it worldwide if it's going around the world, but it doesn't
Oh
seem
yeah,
like
they should do that.
doesn't seem like they are. But anyway, let's go into the hardware sales here. I have on my profile hardware. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so here we go.
So if you can put up.
So I'm gonna open this. Right, I'm gonna have to enlarge. Oh no, what did they say on like a CSI? Enhance. You see CSI and like NCIS and all. Oh, I used to watch all those shows. Hang on, there we go. So here's the. Oh my god, these sales are so interesting, Genki, because I actually did think about 90k PS5s were going to sell this week, just because of what it was tracking and what we was looking at with all the tracking and the media crate sales and everything. Like, people were in the sales community anyway were like, yeah, it's going to be like something like 90k. I think it turned out to be about that. So yeah, Genki, let's talk about this hardware. Maybe
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. We went to the toilet. Yeah.
We will go later, but now I'm good. Yeah. So for that, yeah, the PlayStation 5 numbers were pretty crazy this week. PlayStation 5 had 93k sold, 93,000, and that's up from 62,000 last week. So that's really impressive. Like the numbers are going up every week so far, and yeah, this is like probably the most they've sold outside of launch. I think at launch they sold like 118,000 if I remember correctly. So 93 is really impressive, like almost at 100k for 1 week. So that's really good. Yeah, and yeah, we can talk later about the scalping and all the other stuff. But yeah, and then the next was the Nintendo Switch, which sold 55,000. Last week it sold 51,000. So yeah, still like I think just it seems to be stock in Japan. So it's probably like everyone has a Switch right now. So like.
Didn't we work out it's like 1/6 of the population or something? What was it? What did you work it out? Was it 1/6?
Like 20, yeah, like 25% or something.
Or 25, or almost a quarter
or
of the
20%. Yeah,
it's like 20% of the population of Japan, right? 1/5 of the population of Japan has a Switch.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
And considering most of the people in Japan are like 60-year-old,
are like old, so it's like all the young people. You know, excluding like really like toddlers and babies. Like everyone else has a Switch as well.
So yeah, it's quite crazy. But yeah, I think what was the top selling is the DS, right? At 32 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
No?
DS has the record. It's something like it's about 32. Yeah, about 32 million.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I think it could. If it gets a price drop, it could definitely get to that, because it still hasn't had a price drop anywhere. So yeah, I think just the numbers are slowing down, just that everyone has one, so like you can't keep selling hundreds of thousands every week forever,
Yeah.
So that's probably why the numbers are down at the moment, and like there's no big new releases at the moment. But yeah, I don't know, but yeah. And then next we had the Xbox Series, which sold a big 14,644.
That's sudden drop. So Genki, I thought that was down to people wanting to buy it before this price increase comes into effect on like the 17th, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's only two reasons I can think of.
Yeah.
It's that, and like Hi-Fi Rush also came out, but.
Buying it for Hi-Fi Rush, like... come on, Genki, come on. They ain't buying it for Hi-Fi. That's not a
there's
system.
There's probably like a couple hundred people who bought it for.
I don't think that's
or maybe like 100 people.
I think that's a good game, but I'm not convinced it's like a system seller type game, because even in the US it did really, because like Benji Sales talked about this because someone asked him about it. In his live chat, he said it did really well, but it didn't do like that kind of like gangbusters really like well that we saw with what was that game? High on Life. I remember High on Life. It came in and
Oh, High on Life.
it went to the top of the
Oh yeah,
Game
that was
Pass
like the
chart,
best
most played.
Game Pass game or
Yeah, so
something.
it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get
Or
it
from
got as
first
high
class
as
or
number
whatever.
9. So that's how
Oh,
that's the compare.
nine. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
9.
not as high
Yeah, it's
as
not
I
as
would
high.
think. I
So
thought it would at least be top five.
yeah, so it did well, but oh, I'm getting these
Yeah.
spam calls. What the hell?
I think it's like also the type of game it is. It's like more
Yeah,
like an action game, like a hack and slash kind of game.
yeah,
And it's more like these old traditional games as well. It's kind of got that old GameCube kind of vibe to it, or like Dreamcast vibe. The game, even though like the production and is like really super good. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, maybe that's why like the appeal is quite limited. Like yeah, kind of reminds me of like something like Bayonetta ish, in terms of
yeah,
or like
yeah.
in terms of like hack and slash gameplay or the action gameplay. Yeah, I don't get the people calling it Game of the Year. Like, it's a really good game, and I think it will be like probably like top 10 Game of the Year games.
Mm.
High on Life, not High on Life. I mean Hi-Fi Rush. But yeah, people saying it's going to be Game of the Year is a bit crazy in my
Especially
opinion.
when we've
Especially
got Tears of the Kingdom,
yeah,
Final
Tears
Fantasy
of the
16,
Kingdom, Final
Spider
Fantasy,
Man
Spider
2.
Man,
Like, come on,
even
man.
Starfield, probably.
Starfield,
I don't know.
maybe I don't know about that one, but yeah,
Yeah, I
like,
don't know.
but like
Yeah, I'm not into those kind of
multiple
games. But yeah,
big
Starfield's
games
also up
that
there.
Hi-Fi
Yeah, and then
Rush,
Type
no,
9.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
It's like the battles are all in like arenas. Like you run from in the level, you run to like arena to arena, and then like you can only battle in these like enclosed arenas. So it's not like a free kind of level design game. So you
Oh,
like
okay,
run
yeah,
until the area, and it's like, oh, this is the area you battle. And you can do the
right.
battles, then you
Oh, okay.
platform, then collect stuff, and then you run to the next, and then until you get to the boss. So like in terms of that, it's not that like great. Like in terms of the level
The
design.
level design, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, but I think the gameplay with the music is like where it really innovates and it really like pushes things and it's really good. So in terms of that, it's really cool. But yeah, I don't think it's like a game of the year type. Uh, maybe other year would be, but not this year with Zelda and Final Fantasy and
Yeah,
Spider
yeah.
Man. Yeah,
In
yeah,
other
it's kind of
years,
crazy.
maybe it would have been
Even
there.
Resident Evil 4, like, come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that as well.
I mean, I
Well,
know
there
it's a
you
remake,
go.
but
It's a
it's still
remake,
like
but you
it's
had
the
like
remake of one of the best games ever. So.
you had uh, when they remade 2, that was in
Oh yeah, 2 was really good.
3. 3 people didn't like that one really, but not as much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But it's a super good game, and like the animation is amazing, like super crazy good, and like it's really fun and like fun to play as well. So yeah, I really like it. But yeah, in terms of like best game ever kind of talk, it's like
yeah,
I think it's a bit too much in my opinion. But yeah,
yeah.
otherwise with the hardware, I think yeah, the Xbox. Yeah, what was your opinion or reason like why it sold
So
so? It's like last week it sold 1,200, and then this week it's 14,000.
14,000,
And it's not
huge
the
jump.
X. The X is like less than last week. So,
So the S
not
sold.
less.
It's almost all
It's
S.
yeah,
It's
it's
almost
almost all the Series S that got the big boost. Because like the
yeah.
X sold 400 last week, and this week it was like
Three
367,
hundred
so less than
sixty-seven.
last week.
Less than
So it's
last
all
week.
S. So you can tell from that like Xbox are not sending the X to Japan at
They
all.
are not.
Like they're not
No.
stocking because it's sold out everywhere. But there was still loads of Series S saved up from the last few weeks. So, well, why did you think it would jump so much?
So I think it's like maybe a couple of things like I said, but people go. Cause there was definitely a rush of people that were going to buy Xbox when the price drop was announced, because we saw the Series S suddenly just shoot up the Amazon
Oh, sorry.
JP
Yeah.
chart, which, as I said, that's updated hourly, right? So you can almost got like a real time thing of what's going on. Like when the stuff, like for example, when the games were announced with Direct, as soon as they went for pre-order, all the the Zelda collector's edition, all that, and it all shot up to the top. So that's what happens, right? So there's that, and then I thought maybe it's just Famitsu it's like they're still over tracking as well. Maybe because that does seem to be an issue with Famitsu over tracking. I don't know that they would. I don't think they would overtrack to that degree, though. I don't think they would overtrack by 13,000 or something like that. So I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying that it's could be contributing a little bit, right? But I think it's that. Also, I think Microsoft probably just sent a load more S. I think they probably sent a load more S because they probably knew there'd be a rush of people to buy it before the price increase comes in. Because this if they sent all these last week, the price increase was announced last week. They sent all these extra the same week this price increase was announced. And this price increase still today is only been in Japan. It's Japan only. And like I discussed with you last week, Genki, it's like how they could just not eat the cost of that. It's only like a few tens of thousands for them. It's only going to be a few hundreds of thousands for them to just not eat the cost for hardly any Xbox is even selling in Japan anyway. And quite frankly, they need all the units and everything and to get as much market share as they can. But no, they decided to raise the price. They could have eaten that cost, but they didn't. They raised the price, and it's right now as we're recording this, it's still only announced in Japan. Not because we thought I think both of us thought maybe they was gonna announce some other regions like shortly after, but they didn't. So
I don't think it'll be shortly after. I think
not
they'll
shortly
roll it
after.
out slowly.
Okay, yeah. So they probably will. When Sony...
so you think it's either the price increase or over tracking then?
I think the price increase is the main reason.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. It's like the price increase, people just rushing to buy it at cheaper price. Maybe even scalpers because they know like once a price increase they can already make profits or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but it seems like as soon as a price increase, like the numbers just suddenly shot up. So I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence. Yeah, I think they sent extra because of the price increase because they knew there was going to be a rush of people to buy it. And so I don't think this is like going to be sustained sales like going forward. It'll go back down again.
Oh yeah. It'll be interesting to see like once the price increase happens after February 17th, then to see what the sales are after that will be like the most telling thing. Because this week was kind of crazy because like the whole year so far they've been selling 1,000 or less, and then this week they've sold like more than like twice as much of this sold like the whole year already, or the whole month of January. They've already sold twice as much in 1 week, so it's like quite a big jump there.
Yeah. So I want to just catch up a little bit of the chat, Genki, or well, you can read the chat.
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. J2 Blue Engage says, I thought of David when Etrian Odyssey got announced. I wasn't expecting anything from Atlas.
Neither was I. But you know what? I should have expected it because shout out to David Cast JRPGs. He said this before. He said last year that Soul Hackers 2 was announced in February, and up until that point, Atlas had nothing announced because we had this year we had Persona 3 and 4 released, and then they had nothing else announced for the year. And David was like, oh yeah, they announced something in February last year, so maybe they'll announce something in February this year, and that'll be a thing for later in the year. And it didn't I didn't think, because I'm like, oh, Atlas is just no. They haven't like fully taken advantage of the Switch install base. I'm like, they're not going to be at that direct. But yeah, they was at the direct, and it was February announcements. So I think David was onto something with that. And David, I did watch your reaction. David was like, I can't believe it. It's Etrian Odyssey. I couldn't believe it either because I'm like, oh, those games are stuck in DS. They're not gonna those DS and 3. Well, actually, the DS ones is not the 3DS ones, because they remade them on the 3DS as well. But yeah, I'm kind of like, oh my god,
okay.
Can we get SMT4, please? But yeah.
Jago says was a big surprise from Sega. Not sure. But the prices I'm not buying. I'm not sure what he was talking about.
They're talking about Etrian Odyssey games because they're like $40 each.
Oh yeah.
Or $80 for all three.
Yeah, it was like $75, $80 for 3.
People are not
like,
happy.
What? They're like DS games.
The
or
DS
DS
games. Yeah, not
Yeah.
even 3DS. They're actually
Oh,
DS
really?
games. Yeah.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the later ones came out on the 3DS. Okay.
It's Atlas being Atlas
Um,
again.
yeah, that's crazy then. That's really crazy. Yeah, because they're not like graphically intensive games.
They are not.
So that's crazy. Yeah. And then Steady Flow says, "Hey, Jodie and Genki. Hey,
Hey.
how's it going? Um, 33 million for DS. Oh, okay,
Okay,
thanks.
33
So
million
33 million is like the top selling console in Japan
in Japan.
ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Ever. Mm-hmm.
And Jago says Furukawa said no price drop. Big mistake. I hope they revise that. Oh yeah, in the
Yeah.
Q&A,
Mm.
like I think they only released the Japanese one so far, but someone was asking about pricing,
Mm.
and they said they won't change their pricing policy. They have no plans. They're not thinking about it at the moment, so they're not thinking about a price drop for now.
Do you know what I
So
think?
maybe later.
Just to comment on that, I think the reason is right because if they drop the price, they have to drop it in Japan. They have to drop it everywhere. They have to drop it in Japan, and the yen is so weak, right? That I think that they could have done it before, like when the yen wasn't weak. But obviously we've seen Sony, and Meta with the Meta Quest or whatever, and now Microsoft all raised the prices, and then other companies and different
Oh
other
yeah,
things have been raised as well because of the weak yen. So
yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why they're not gonna. I think
They're
otherwise they
not
probably
going
would have
to.
dropped it by now. But anyway,
Oh yeah,
that's
that's a
just
good
my
point.
speculation.
Yeah, makes sense. And then Game Killer 64 says without price drop, I'll be surprised they sell another 18 million this financial year, even with that new Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. Yeah, 18 million won't be possible. I don't think the next year. Yeah, because we're in the decline already. I think last year they had like 20 million or 20 something, 22 million or something like that. And then this year, like their goal was 19, but they had to drop it to 18. So yeah, it's gonna continue dropping because we're in
Yeah,
a decline period. So like, yeah, nothing's gonna boost it back up.
I would just like to
Cause
say
like,
that it's not gonna boost back up without a big price drop. That Game Killer's right.
oh
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is that if you compare the sales of Switch, and now it's like sixth year, right, almost seventh, yes, the
Mhm.
selling year, right, compared to other platforms, and just see how much more it's selling. Then that by now, like the Wii was, that was gone. That was like it wasn't even selling anything. And then
Yeah, yeah,
another platforms how much they drop. So it is dropping because the demand is going down because more people, so many people have a Switch now.
yeah,
But it's
yeah. But
still
still, like 18
higher
million
than.
in the sixth year is crazy.
Yeah,
Kind of
that is,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
So yeah, so probably be like 18 million this year. The next year be like 10 to 15 million, and then
Yeah, they need to have a
continue like
successor
that.
out by this,
Yeah, and then
that point.
hopefully by early 2024 they'll have the new one.
Yeah.
And then David Cast says J2 Blue Engage, same, very low, very cool surprise. Okay, and then J2 Blue says, I agree with Genki. Hi-Fi Rush is really fun, but I don't think it's Game of the Year material. Yeah, I think it's like top 10 can be in those lists, but maybe top 5 even, but no way number 1. That's all. But yeah, it's a fun game though. So yeah, I recommend if you have Game Pass, you should definitely try it out.
Definitely.
And then yeah, sorry, I say definitely. David David Cast JLPC says my predictions were decent for this direct.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what David Cast JRPGs predicted? He was like, oh, I really want him to bring back Ghost Trick, like this old DS game that was
Oh
made by like
really? He
the.
predicted
He
that? Oh, that's
predicted
wild.
that. It was made by the creator of Ace Attorney, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this old DS game. I was like, what the hell? They all
That's so
back Ghost
random,
Trick. That
man.
was so random, yeah. Yeah, but I've never played it, so yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Yeah, and then Jago says Shin Megami Tensei 4 remake when?
Exactly, Jago.
Okay.
Yes, I need it. Pump it into my veins. I need that.
Uh, and David Cast JRPG says that price though, oof.
Yeah, the Metro and Odyssey
Off.
games.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
No
35
physical in
pounds
the
bigger.
West.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Diego says £35 each or 72 for the bundle. Yeah, nah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
this crazy price. Oh my god.
Yeah, for DS games, like up-res. Oh my god.
Yeah, I kind of want them, but I don't know about that price.
Oh yeah, the composer dudes on Twitter was saying he made some like
I saw that video because
something.
someone retweeted that, and I'm like, who is this? They said, oh, first comment about Eternity. I was like, oh, let me watch this. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I've never. Who is this?
Some random
I'm
guy.
like, I think it's just some random guy. Why is he talking? Like, who are you? I don't know who you are. And then I saw, oh, he's the I'm like, oh, okay, he's the composer. But he also said in that video. Okay, he said, oh, I'm thankful to Atlas for doing this, and then like I redid. Hopefully, we're not gonna get that compressed music situation that we had with Persona 3, right? So he redid the music, but he's like, oh, I don't know what's happening. He said, I don't know if they're still working on like the new like Etrian Odyssey, like
the new.
Is it 5 or 6? I don't know, 5 or 6, right? And I'm like, okay, if he doesn't know, and he was the composer for the old games, then he's not involved in this new game then. The new one they're making.
It sounded like he wasn't involved.
So he said he didn't even know.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, that's what. So he's not doing it
to remaster the old songs a bit.
Yeah, so at least they got him to do that, and it's not going to be like compressed to hell like the Persona 3. People were really, 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 really upset with the Persona 3 portable music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They didn't touch it up.
They compressed it. They compressed it to hell. It sounds. When you compare it to the original, it sounds bad.
Damn. And then Ethan Jory.
Oh, Ethan Jory, are you new here? Welcome. I don't remember seeing you here before.
How's it going? He says way too much competition this year. I guess talking about Game of the Year, maybe. Yeah, so I would agree with that. Yeah, this year is crazy for the games. We're already in February, and it's already getting crazy. But yeah, this year it's a good year for games. And Jago says, yes, Jodie, I need it in my veins.
Was that about SMT4? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
SMT4 is really good. And then there's the follow-up, Apocalypse, which I really liked. And it's only after I played it, I realised that people would like some people were like, they don't like that one as much. I liked it. The music in that one is amazing as well. Music in those games is always amazing. So I want them to remake both of them because like Apocalypse reuses like a load of the like maps and stuff anyway. So I want them to like make them into like one fat like thing like that, like a HD SMT4 would be. I'm like, please, Atlas, good lord, do it. They won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not. Game Killer says, Game Killer 64, I'm so upset about no physical Etrian Odyssey collection in the West, especially since I doubt the Japanese version is gonna have English in it.
Yes, because Genki, Atlas always does this. When they release their games physically in Japan, they don't put English on it. Every other publisher, every other company, they put in order to do that, you have to take it out. Because when you make the game, you just make one game with all the languages on it. In order for them to have that, that means they made another version and took out the other languages and just have Japan. Why are you doing that? And just having Japanese on it.
Yeah, they could do that. It's on the Switch, so they've got enough space on the.
They've got enough space.
Stuff like that.
Atlas, the old DS games. I know you can do it.
Oh yeah. And he says, I don't want to miss out on the DLC, so I'll just get it digital.
All right, yeah. So I've got that DLC. So the DLC, right? What they've done, they've put SMT, Persona, and Ringo from Soul Hackers 2 as like DLC characters you can have for the free games. Well, the fact that they put Ringo in there, that alone tells you that they actually did want that to be a pillar title. So why else put Ringo in there? And they put Ringo in there, right? They put Demi Fiend from SMT3. They put Nahabino from SMT5. Where's Flynn? Where's my boy Flynn? You see, this is what I'm talking about. That's how you know there's not going to be an SMT4 remake or SMT4. They're not bringing it back because Flynn was not in it. That's how you know. They only put the ones where you can buy it now. And Joker and Teddy were in there, and I think Igus as well. Yeah, that's how you know. They're not bringing SMT4 back. Anyway.
Oh yeah, okay. Jodie with the rants. That's fine. And then yeah, thought, David Cast JRPG says that's a dream, to be honest.
What, the
Um,
digital, the physical? What, David? Why
yeah,
did they do a physical for Etrian Odyssey, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, but not Persona 3 and 4?
oh, yeah,
Explain that to me,
strange.
David.
Sounds-
I know you can explain. No, I'm joking. He can't explain it.
have to contact. Yeah.
Atlas.
Yeah. And then Zombie Tech Pad says, shout out to Pokey Catcher on the Discord.
Oh yeah,
What did
join
they
the
say?
Discord. I've got a poker catcher bot. You can play. You can catch Pokemon and you can do stuff.
Oh, okay.
You can
Nice.
on the po- on the Discord. I actually made a separate little channel for it because people were concerned it's clogging up the main notice board channel. So yeah, you can play poker catcher and catch Pokemon, and it's like a little game that you can engage with. So if you join our Discord, which do I still have the link? I put the link in the Discord. Wait, hang on. Did I put the link in there already? I did, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what did I do? I can't find it. Yeah, so it is above. Do I have? Hang on. Can I paste it again? Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Never mind. That's the wrong link. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
And then, Ethan Dory. There's even a Soul Hackers 2 rep for SMT 4.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Why is Ringo? Why are you gonna put Ringo in there, right? And not put Flynn? Explain that to me. Who's more important? Just obviously Flynn, especially naked Flynn. Bring naked Flynn. Genki doesn't know about naked Flynn.
Oh, I don't know this. And then J2 Blue Engage says, not giving us a physical is a common Atlas L. Yeah, they should have done physicals for the Persona 4 and Persona 3. That would have been cool. Especially in Japan, I think they would have sold a lot better.
Oh my god, I would have loved to see those
but it's
sales.
so cheap though. So that's a good thing.
They could have put, but I don't listen. People say, well, they can't put them both on one cartridge. Yes, they could have. They could have put those both on one cartridge. They could. Yes,
if
yes,
they
they
put
could.
them both on one, that would be cool.
They've been cheapskates.
Yeah.
Or maybe they could have put them on separate cartridges. They probably could have done them on separate cartridges. I don't know. But yeah, they're just been cheapskates. Anyway, there's the link for the Discord. So we want to talk about a couple of things, but I'm going to bring in Kike, who is here, into the room. Welcome, Kike.
Welcome.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Hello.
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 Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. What would you like to talk about today? I mean, we've got many different subjects, so we're still going over some. You can join in with us and talk about these subjects. We're gonna talk about. I want to talk about the scalping situation in just a sec. I want to talk about the Nintendo Direct, and Genki's going to talk about the Microsoft Activision Blizzard comments about Japan dominating the game industry, which is not true, by the way. You can just... It isn't true. It's just factually incorrect when you just look at the size of the companies and who's there. Yeah. Jago, do not will that into existence. He's saying we'll get SMT4 remake as an Xbox exclusive. You stop it, Jago. You stop that right now. So yeah, what would you like to talk about?
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up a little bit of news that might get lost in the shuffle because of the Nintendo Direct and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sega actually put out their financials.
They did, just
last quarter.
And
I'm so happy when I was so happy when they said Sonic Frontiers sold 2.9 since it came out.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's one of the fastest selling Sonic games since. I think I heard that it was since Heroes.
When was that? When was Heroes?
2003.
What? That long ago? 20 years?
Yeah.
Good lord. That's really good.
No, it's great. It's fantastic. I think the director said that it's on 3 million since last month. So yeah, it's pretty great. And Sega even said that the
Wow.
reason why they had a great quarter was because of Sonic Frontiers, and also
Oh
because did
yeah.
you know
Then
Persona 5 Royal sold like 1.3 copies, the
Yeah.
re-release.
Yeah, so that in just additional 300,000 since they gave us the million number
oh
like
yeah.
last year. So
Then last
yeah,
year.
I'll tell you now. Most of those sales are on Switch and Steam.
This is making Sega look at those multiplats. At some point, Sega's gonna look at Atlas like, listen.
Well, are they? I don't know because they. I mean, I guess with the Etrian Odyssey, it's because of it's only on Switch and PC.
Steam.
I think that's to do with like the fact that it's like because when you read the because I read the thing what they said the improvements they've made. They said, oh, it's got full mouse control on PC, and then on Switch it's like obviously it's got touch screen interface and you can use a stylus and this type of thing. So I think it might be to do with the fact you have to do this map and all of that, and maybe that was more difficult to put on like just only single screen um console or whatever. And they those games wouldn't have sold. They would have sold nothing on Xbox. Nobody they wouldn't play. They didn't even play Persona 3 or 4 because I know, because I looked at they didn't come into the most played charts at all. I looked at the time, and I watched it. I watched it for like 2-3 weeks. They did not go in at all. Persona 5 did, but that had like a massive worldwide marketing. They did a worldwide marketing campaign with billboards, everything all over the world. So of course, yeah, it went in, and it's a more modern looking game. But those old ass PS2 Persona games, they didn't nobody played them on Xbox because I looked. But yeah, and I think that's the reason for Etrian Odyssey, but that's just me. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know. But I just thought, oh, it must be with they must have made it so you can use it on the Switch like docked. Or maybe they just figured
Yeah,
this is just not gonna sell on PlayStation and Xbox. I don't know. I don't know the reason.
definitely not Xbox. PlayStation
Not Xbox.
probably.
No.
Yeah, probably PlayStation because Adrian Odyssey never came to a PlayStation console. So
I mean, it
probably
never
they're
did,
looking
but
at,
it doesn't mean you can't put it on there, right?
yeah, so they're probably looking like maybe we should prioritize either Switch or PlayStation, and they know like they probably have the audience on the Nintendo console, so they just went with the Switch. Maybe I don't know. It's Atlas.
It's Atlas.
We,
We yeah, we can never figure them out. You know, it's just a strange situation.
yeah, well, at least yeah. I just wanted to bring up as, as Sonic fans, like hearing Sonic be on top again for like so long after like I think there was a period of time where Sonic was not Sega's best-selling franchise. Uh, think I think Yakuza was at some point.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't remember.
probably was Yakuza. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's back. Like like if you look at the series like breakdown, it's like Sonic had a resurgence. Like damn. So
Yeah, I mean, like Sonic's never been a huge seller, right? But I think like with the movies and everything, there's like a Sonic resurgence, or people are just more interested in the IP in general because Sonic has always been there, like all these years. But there's been, some of these games have not been as well received, but Sonic Frontiers, people generally liked that, and people had fun with it and everything.
it
And
even sold okay in Japan. Yeah, it even sold okay in
yeah,
Japan, which they Sonic usually bombs in Japan.
yeah, Sonic isn't
So
that big in Japan, funny enough. Yeah, so
which
yeah, it's just that's pretty good for Sonic Frontiers. Glad to hear it. Yeah.
yeah Yeah, Sonic bombs in Japan and they still get all the cool stuff. Like I saw Genki's video about the cafe.
Oh, thanks for watching my
Yeah.
video. Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
have
I
the
did.
Sonic Cafe.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
that's
that much.
strange, though, right? Oh yeah, I don't know why like Sonic's not more popular. Maybe he's got too much attitude, like he's too arrogant, and then like Japanese people don't like that.
Does he still have that kind of attitude now? Would you say from the
Yes.
Yeah,
90s? Oh.
definitely. If you look play Sonic Frontiers, it's quite funny.
Oh really?
Some of the lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's just Sonic's core. I don't think they're ever gonna change that. But
Yeah.
I just find it weird that they get all the merchandise, they get all the events, like.
This is what I'm saying. They do all this do all this stuff in Japan. That's how you know. The fact that they do all this stuff in Japan and it's like Japan exclusive tells you that they do want these franchises and stuff to do better in Japan. Like all this Persona stuff that's all exclusive to Japan. If they don't care about that market and only care about when they're selling the game, why is all that stuff only in Japan? Why not do that all this worldwide stuff? They don't. This is what this is what I've been
At least
saying.
Persona is like quite popular though in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
More than like, I think. Yeah.
More, currently more than.
Yeah,
than
because
Sonic.
you thinking about it, like you don't really see Sonic plushes or like Sonic toys in like toy shops in Japan. You see like loads of like Mario and Pikachu and Kirby. Yeah, yeah.
Kirby,
But,
oh
like,
my
yeah,
gosh, there's
Sonic could do
loads
better.
of Kirby. There's I think that Tokyo Game podcast.
Oh
What's it
yeah,
called
he
again?
loves Kirby.
Yeah,
Tokyo Game Life.
Tokyo Game Life. That's it. Posted tweeted out a picture of like all this Kirby merch in the store.
Yeah, that's
just,
a
like,
good podcast
tons
to
of
follow
it.
if you want to see.
Yeah, I have listened to it a
Stuff
few
like that,
times. It's
yeah.
pretty good. You was on
Oh,
it
yeah,
once,
Sonic-
right? Wasn't you on it once?
Yeah, I was on it once.
Yeah, I think I listened to that.
Talking about Kirby.
What about
I was
Kirby?
talking about the Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Ah,
on
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but he's
That's
a
a
cool
good
guy.
game. That's a really good game.
Yeah, but yeah, seeing Sonic selling good is like, yeah, I really enjoyed. Like, I took a long break off Sonic, and I got back into it with the Frontiers, and it was like really fun. I know it's a bit janky, but it's still a fun game, and yeah, I'm happy it sold well over Christmas. Like, especially in the States, it was in
Yeah.
the top charts and stuff. So I was happy. Like 2.9 million is quite good for Sonic, and it should go on to be like one of the best selling Sonic game.
Hmm.
Hopefully.
Oh, probably. Which one holds the record? Do you know?
I think somebody said like individually Sonic 2, but if you count every
really?
re-release of Sonic 1, it's technically Sonic 1 because it's been re-released
So
so
many
many
times.
times. Like every
Yeah.
time a new console comes out, it's like, well, when's Sonic 1 gonna get ported? Because it's coming.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
That makes sense.
but yeah, I just want.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that, Kika. Thanks a lot for the
Thanks, Kike.
info.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
no
watching the
problem.
video. The chili dog
Yeah,
tasted
no.
like.
I watched
not
it.
very good.
Genki, I watched your video as well. I watched it. Yeah, you said the
thanks.
chili dog wasn't great, and that they don't really have
They
a
just
chili
put
dog.
salsa on it, like like salsa that you use to dip like was it nachos and stuff. They just put that in it. Like it's not like proper chili sauce like you're supposed to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's
so
why it wasn't
That was
great.
disappointing.
Yeah, I was never a fan of chili dogs, which just makes me a fake Sonic fan, I guess. But I never liked this movie. Hearing you didn't like I don't know like Japan's interpretation of it. I'm like, oh no.
They just didn't know how. So what makes that's the Sonic's favorite food, a chili dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So
It's his trademark.
Yeah.
so then why not just? Why did they make it a chili? Why did they make his favorite food a chili dog then?
So basically, the cartoons was the one that made it.
Oh, it
his-
come from the cartoon.
Oh, it's from the
Okay,
cartoon.
yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes
I
sense.
do remember the cartoons. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cartoons made it a chili dog, but then eventually the games adopted that. Like, they just-
Oh,
I see, I
okay.
They
see.
just made it. They just made it official. Like at some point, Sega wanted like a consistent Sonic lore, so they basically started pulling from every media that they could.
Oh, so the consistent law is that he likes chili
Yeah.
dogs. Okay.
Yeah. Just don't pull from the Sonic Boom era.
Why is that bad?
No, I just don't like the designs,
Oh, okay.
the bandages and stuff.
Scaria. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out for the direct new Samba de Amigo. I'm really excited about that. Never
Yeah.
thought we'd see this. Like,
Oh,
I
you
want to
sound like
play it.
you're a big Sega fan then, right?
Nice.
Most of the
Yeah.
time, like if it comes out on a Nintendo console, I'll probably play that Sega game. Like I've never played Yakuza because they never brought it. Well, they brought it to
It's a
the Wii
Wii
U in
U.
Japan.
Yeah, they brought it to Wii U in Japan, and then us were astonished when it didn't sell well on a flop of a console, and then was like, well, okay,
And
because it didn't sell well on Wii U, we're never putting it on Nintendo consoles again. And that was that.
yeah,
What's that? What was the name of that guy that went off to NetEase? The one
yeah.
that looks he looks like a fucking Yakuza. Sorry, I don't mean to swear.
Nagoshi.
I'm
Nagoshi
swearing.
Studios.
What's his name?
Nagoshi.
Nagoshi, yeah. So, edit that out. Edit. I'm gonna edit it in post. We're gonna get that out. The swearing. I'm sorry. He does look like a Yakuza, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also,
He basically he was like one of the ones that was just like that was saying like they said like some really weirdo comments over at that studio.
Like, he said, I don't think it would sell well on the Switch because the Switch is for families. So
Yeah, that was it. That's what they said. Yeah. I was like, well, okay, I'm sure families and stuff do buy it and do get the games, but you know, it has a wide audience that's like mainly young adults actually. But yeah,
it's weird. Maybe at some point we're gonna get a Yakuza game on a Nintendo console. At some point, I believe.
I feel like
I'm
if Sega actually cares at all about selling their Yakuza in Japan, if they want it to be a thing in Japan, then they're gonna have to put something on the Switch or future Nintendo consoles, just because of the collapse of PlayStation. There is so, and because I want to get onto this subject as well, because we don't have all night, because obviously Genki has to go at some point, to talk about the scalping that's going on in Japan and the collapse of PlayStation, which was happening prior to the PlayStation 5. This has been going on since the PS2, right? So PS3, PS4, all the sales and everything have been going down and down and down. And this week was just astounding for having 93,000 PS5s, 76.4 thousand of them were the disc version, right? And you had a total of maybe 12,000 PS5 or PlayStation software selling, with 2 of them being bundled games, right? So, like, people saying, what is going on here? Like, why is this? The hardware's gone up. It's now widely available, but the software is just not really moving that much, right? And so people have put, oh well, it's all digital. Like 90%, it is not 90% digital. We have the digital. I've said this before. We know what the digital rates are for PlayStation console. We've got it from official sources. We've had publishers commenting on this. Like we had when Nihon Falcon were asked about what their games, the digital rate of their games on PlayStation, they said it was less than 20%. Doesn't mean that that's the rate for all games, but it's like between 20 and 30% is the digital rate, and it's just the same for Switch in Japan. So when you look about what it is in Japan, it's not the same as what it is worldwide. So if you have a PlayStation with 80%, and the way that Sony counts it as well is that they count all games, like including digital only games that don't have a physical release. Whereas when you look at the Nintendo sales, they only count the ones where it has a physical release, and they tell you the digital rate of that. So anyway, the digital rate is higher, but that doesn't mean that's just the same digital rate that's going on in Japan, right? So I think that one of the reasons is the intense scalping that was going on and is still going on. I started this long tweet thread about this while I was late today, so I was doing this. I did this long tweet thread. I'm gonna copy it and drop it into the. Where's the chat here? I'll drop it into this chat. I need one of those bleeping sensors. I know. I managed to get how many episodes I went without swearing, and I let one slip. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so there's the tweet thread, and so I have been gathering these pictures for a long time actually, and I've got a lot more. I just didn't put them all on this. I'm gonna put the rest of them on there gradually because the thread's enormous already. So yeah, so here's the thread. So um this is like I got them from people that were either passers by and they saw it, or it's from the scalpers themselves. They take the pictures and stuff. Like this one, obviously, this is a posed picture. This guy is like pretty pleased with himself with all these PS5s behind him, right? So I don't know who this person is, and I don't care. I'm not basically. I've given the people that the passers by credits, but the other people that were just you know, where they took it themselves, I put they can get effed on my on the thing. So like here we got another picture. This is just someone who had this PS5s, and their thing was like, oh, I you know, I hope I can sell, like I can get. They're trying to like, I've got 300 million yen, but I want to get 500 million yen. Before like the price was going down, what you can sell within Japan. Now I think they're all getting shipped mainly to China, and look, we've got like people like these are resellers gathered here. I've got tons of these pictures. The way I found them is you've got to type in really specific search terms in Japanese, and then I have to like look at them different profiles and see what else they've tweeted and go and just search like that, and I just found the whole load of them by doing that. Here's a video. It's very short. Hang on, can I play this on? Usually someone walking past and they just got a whole bunch of PS5s there. Yeah, this one makes me laugh, man. I put caught in 4K. Look, they're wheeling a whole bunch of PS5s on a cart, taking them onto a train. These are all PS5s that they have in there. So that's pretty amazing. And the people, this one. Some of these are from. Some of them are recent, and some of them are from 2020. This one's from 2021. This is a mother with her kids, which is a whole bunch of PS5s. You can see she's waiting there for someone. So everyone was getting involved in this because it was so lucrative. And they would just get people to go and they got people. It's like it's literally organized groups. It's organized gangs of people, and they all get like a small cut of these PS5s. See, they're gathered here, waiting to get picked up. They would gather all these PS5s together, right? So here's some more people, like they're waiting. These are all PS5s. You can see the bags, Yodobashi, Kamera, and yeah, I think these are mainly Yodobashi Kamera bags. And then here, look. So this is how they go. These are all, look at these again, Yodobashi Kamera bags. They're all PS5s in these bags. It's PS5s. This is at the end of last year, November last year. And the description that the person who posted this, right, they described them as Southeast Asian. That's why I put it in quotation marks, because I have no idea whether they're Southeast Asian or not. But that's what they put, and then there's all the PS5s here. This is what they would do, right? And here someone took this picture of the research, and they would gather these PS5s. And they said they're taking them off. They all gathered here, putting them into vans, taking them off. And here they're taking them to be stored somewhere, taking them out of the van, taking them to be stored in this. They said they're taking it into some apartment next to. They said this is a Dragon Quest Lawson, which is that a real? Is there? I can see little slimes on there. Is the Dragon Quest Lawson a thing? I don't know. That's just how it translated anyway. And here is this a van piled up. Look, they're piled up in this van. Someone took this. PS5s piled up in a van. When did that one? That one is from August 2022, this is last year. This one, this was this year. 12th of January 2023. And where I found this one, this reseller took this picture, was complaining that they piled up all these PS5s in there and it blocked out the light when they were trying to drive with the PS5s in there. This is from this year, 12th of January. Right? I've got more from this year, so not all from like last year or whatever. Yeah. So that's I will post more of them because I have more. Oh yeah, this one. Look, this is the reseller. This is the piled up in here. This is what do you call it? Container, like a container lorry. container lorry. They've piled up in there. This is from, yeah, again, end of last year, October last year, and they this is a reseller where they put like a laughing emoji on there. They think it's so fucking fun. I'm swearing again. They think it's so funny. About PS5, and they like they're kind of like selling their gathering method to other people. You can see there's Xbox Series S's in here as well on the side, and then there's some digital PS5s at the front. So this is what's going on. I've got loads more of these photos, but if you want to, like I said, look in the chat. You could look at the threads, look at and follow this thread that where I've been like gathering this evidence for a while now about what is going on, and I think this is contributing to these lows software sales. I think this is what's going on. I'm not saying this is the whole thing. Like I said, PS5 is in decline as well, and there has been a lack of games I think that maybe are more interesting to the Japanese market. But we have some coming up like Final Fantasy 16 that will sell well. But I think this is contributing to it. So yeah, check out the threads. I dropped the link already, right? Dropped the link in there. What's going on? They're making a lot of money from this Game Killer. Yeah. It's not even smuggling because it's not illegal. Smuggling would be when you're doing something illicit or illegal, right? You're smuggling something out of the country. It's not illegal to buy a whole load of PS5s and to resell them in another country. It's not even illegal. So I think this is because the yen is still weak. They're still being shipped overseas. I think this is what's going on, and they're mainly being shipped to China because the PS5s that are sold in China are region locked to China. Because China's got this, weirdo restrictions and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think there's this whole grey market there that's going on. And if you follow Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Olimac. Is it Daniel Olimac Genki? Who talks about, he lives in China. He talks about what's going on in China. If you follow him, he'll tell you, you'll see his tweets about the grey market there, the grey market is stuff that isn't, it's not like the black market where it's illegal stuff. It's stuff that isn't illegal, but the Chinese authorities just turn a blind eye because there's no point in like trying to stop it. So that's all these like unlocked PS5s ending up in China. So people want the unlocked ones. So yeah. What do you think about that, Genki? Kika?
Oh, yeah, I think it's quite crazy, like the amount of scalping that's gone on in Japan overall. Yeah, I don't think like all the consoles are scalped, but
not all of them, but there's definitely
proportion of them that are, yeah. Because like even when I went to Shinjuku the other day, I saw like one of these guys sitting outside the big camera with the bags.
Right. So it hasn't stopped
God.
just because there's like an increased supply, because the resale price within Japan has gone right down to like the retail price. It's almost the same, right? If you look on
so basically it's like just like 1,000 or 2,000 more.
Yeah. So I think that market is now almost coming to an end, but the market for sending them to China is still lucrative. I believe.
Yeah. I think because it's probably like Japan is still the cheapest place in the world to buy a PlayStation 5, so that's probably why they're getting scalped.
Even
like
with
that,
the price increase, it's still cheaper there.
Yeah, because of the weak yen. So yeah, it kind of sucks for the Japanese market. Like I'm sure there are people who are just like buying it, but then they're not buying like new games because there aren't that many appealing games. And like you have like the PS Plus collection, and you have used games.
But here's the thing, Genki. All that stuff is available all over the world. The PS Plus is all over the world. The free-to-play games all over. Why is this only occurring in Japan? This phenomenon is only happening in Japan. It's not happening anywhere else.
Oh yeah, the scalping thing is definitely because of the weak yen and like easy to make profits. But in terms of the software, like most of the software appeals to the Western market on the PS5 right now, and it's not so as appealing to Japanese consumers. So I think that's what the bigger, like another factor.
Yeah, that's
why
another
the software
factor.
sales are so bad, and like people probably just like they buy it and then maybe I don't know what they're playing. It would be interesting to see the stats. Like, are people playing those PS Plus collection games, or are they getting PlayStation Plus extra, or are they buying used games, or are they? I don't know what they're playing.
But the thing is, even for
If
the
like,
used games, where there's this used game charts, and we get the used game charts, it's not full of all PlayStation games at the top. We can see the used game charts from
yeah,
the yearly one we get from Media Create. You can look at I think, is it Comeg or Geo does one of the used charts, and it hasn't got all PlayStation games at the top of those charts.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I think the scalping like is a big problem, and like yeah, it seems like it's a really like a lot. Like a lot of these consoles are getting scalped. So um, yeah, I don't know how like how they ship like millions and millions. It's like it must be like some crazy operation to
It
like be
is.
shipping like
It's
millions of
really
these.
organised. I've got even more
Yeah.
photos of warehouses full of all these
Oh yeah,
PS5s.
I saw your picture of those big truck with like loads of PS1.
Yeah, I've
It's
got
quite
more. I've got
crazy.
more of them. I'll post them. I'm going to post them bit by bit because maybe it's overwhelming to have them all on the feed. I'm going to post more of them bit by bit onto this thread because
But
yeah, I have
maybe it's
more.
just like it's just easy money for these
It's super easy,
people if they
easy money,
sell them in
especially before they
China.
put the price down. Before they put the price up, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate, but I hope it, like I don't know, it's like because the only thing they can do is just keep flooding the market
Exactly,
until
exactly. I you know,
yeah, and everywhere.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I think like they can do that. I don't know when or if this like scalping thing is going to like as in the shipping them aboard thing is going to slow down. Like I said, I think his name's Daniel Olimak. I always forget his username on Twitter.
Daniel Matt?
No, not Daniel Ahmad. No. This is a guy.
He
Another
lives in
Daniel.
China.
He lives in
He lives in
China.
China, and then he like reports some stuff. What's
Yeah.
happening there?
I always forget his Twitter handle. I think it's Daniel Olimak is his Twitter handle. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, it hasn't stopped, and he had some photos and stuff like that saying they're still shipping them to China. Like they have like some from Hong Kong end up there as well, like mainland China. But like the majority
I
of
think
them
they
I
need
think
to
from
report
Japan.
on this more in Japan because like there's only been like a handful of articles about these issues like public articles in Japan, but I think they really need to report on it more and like just raise the awareness and like try to do something about it a bit more. But yeah, I think the shops are kind of sick of it and like they can't really do anything anymore. So they seems like they kind of given up. Like they just sell it to whoever at the moment because like yeah, it's not illegal technically. So
It's not
I
illegal.
don't know.
They've removed a lot of the restrictions. Like a lot of the lotteries are going. The requiring a certain card is going or ID. They had like at one point some shops were saying you needed the Japanese ID in order to buy one. But
Oh
then
really?
they
Oh.
got around that by just hiring a load of Japanese people to go and buy them. That's what they did.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think yeah, the only thing they can do is like just keep flooding the market and release some appealing games for Japan.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise yeah, they have to make a handheld or something if they want to get back their software sales.
I don't know.
Japan.
I don't think that's happening under Jim Ryan,
It
man. I
doesn't.
don't think.
Not with Jim Ryan.
Not with Jim Ryan.
Not with Jim Ryan.
Jim
Yeah, why
Ryan.
for
Jim
him
Ryan's
to
not interested.
He's yeah.
Yeah,
I mean they're doing their PSVR and all this, right?
Yeah, they're going into mobile, so they're not interested.
And
in
yeah,
handhelds.
they're mobile. Even though they have like, oh my god, Sony as a company has a whole mobile division where they have like, what was that game that's really popular in Japan? I've forgotten now. The Fate Grand Order, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that, but that's like a separate division that isn't part of PlayStation, and they don't like.
Yeah, not part of.
Yeah, Sony works like where their divisions are like completely separate. They don't like, so that's why PlayStation is now making its own. Like they actually bought a mobile developer, and they're making their own like PlayStation mobile games. And it doesn't involve the ones that they already have, which is kind of weird. But yeah,
and it's more for their Western games as well. It's more like for the first party.
I think so.
Like
And it's not the first time
Yeah.
they've done this. They've had like
Horizon
mobile,
and stuff.
Uncharted, and like stuff like this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, thanks Afropunk Kid. Daniel Olimak.
Daniel.
Camilo.
Yeah,
Daniel
that's
Camilo.
it. That's his name. I always forget. I don't. I always forget his. Yeah, that's it. His name is actually Dan. That's why I always get it confused because his name is actually Daniel Camillo, but for his handle he put Olimac. I guess so you could just have a unique handle.
Yeah. Well, then Rigo Romero asked a question about Nintendo amusement parks and movie profits. Will they be counted in the reports?
Yes, they are counted in the reports.
Yeah, they are.
If you
There's
look,
a section.
there's a section for it. Yeah. Do you know what's so funny,
Little
Genki?
segment.
They still to this day have a segment for playing cards in their
really?
report. Yeah, they have the playing cards because
super traditional.
they sell playing cards. I bought some of their Mario playing cards and they were kind of low key, like bad quality. They were really bad.
Still printing this.
They're still printing.
Yeah. Hopefully they can make like a good $500,000 from the Mario movie. I'll probably do $1 billion at box office.
Probably do $1 billion.
But I don't know how much of that profit.
Yeah,
they
profit.
get.
Obviously, they have to share it with Universal
That's
and
a share with Universal and Illumination.
Yeah.
The true effect of the movie is gonna be the Mario game sales if they go up, because for every every movie, every TV show based on a video game shows up, normally the game that it's based on suddenly goes up in sales. So that's probably where we're gonna see the most.
I think like multiple Mario games will end up going up in the chart, like you'll
Odyssey
see. Odyssey,
Bowser's Fury,
new
3D World, maybe. And Mario. What's it called? New Super Mario. That one's always selling. New Super Mario.
Yeah, and Mario Kart will go crazy too.
I mean, that's always going crazy, isn't
it? Yeah, it's always crazy.
Yeah.
Even more crazy. Mario Kart.
Yeah, they had a decent what do you call it? New update for Mario Kart. They added Birdo. Birdo.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Playable character.
Yeah, it's cool. They're adding new characters. So yeah, we didn't think they were going to do that. So hopefully we get like I want Diddy Kong.
Oh, they might do. Diddy Kong's not in it, is it?
He should be in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'd be cool if they add some more like from different series, like Link or the Animal Crossing or Splatoon. They already added those.
Oh, okay.
So
like you mean
another one.
Yeah, because it's interesting because they put like
could add Metroid even. I mean Samus.
They put in like an F-Zero track, but there's no like what's it called? Captain Falcon.
Character.
They didn't put him in. And if you have the amiibo, there's all these different costumes that you can put in.
Oh, the costumes.
Like there's a Kirby one. I think there's a Pac-Man one. Am I going crazy?
Put Kirby in there. Oh wait, they don't usually put like the co-owned ones in there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like Fire Emblem or.
I thought Nintendo like completely owned Fire Emblem.
So it's weird. It's weird.
It's another weird one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
it's not as weird as
intelligent.
Not as weird as Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon's 3 people, right? It's not like 50-50 split.
Let me tell you.
Kirby.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Fire Emblem. I think it's more like anything game related is Nintendo.
Oh, and then the merch is Intelligent Systems.
Yeah,
got it.
So I think that, from what I understand, I think that's it, because Intelligent System, when they did the card game, that was all Intelligent Systems. That was all Intelligent Systems.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, the card game. Yeah, I've seen the tabletop game. You're talking about that, the tabletop card game. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. And I'm like, what? I was like, because I stumbled across it. I'm like, what the hell? They have a card game for Fire Emblem? Yeah.
So it would be hard to put Kirby or Fire Emblem characters in Mario Kart.
It's not impossible.
They could do it if they really wanted to. Look at all the characters they have in Smash and stuff like that.
I think in this next new one, the rumored one, Mario Kart 10 or whatever, or Cross, then that one will have be like the Smash.
One.
Please stop calling it Mario Kart 10. It is not. Mario Kart Tour is not Mario Kart 9. I will not have it. It needs to stop.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart 9. Yeah, Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 9 will have the Smash character thing going on, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I know some people saying they want Nintendo Kart. I just feel like they're not gonna do that, and they'll just have a few characters, maybe, but not like have a complete mashup like Smash. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The next Mario Kart is Mario Kart 8 2.
That's what we have now, isn't it? Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's get on to the next because we only have like 1 hour left, right, Genki? So let's talk about well, it's up to you. We can talk about the direct first, or we can talk about the Activision what do you call it? Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft. What they said.
I mean, before I go, I actually wanted to talk about a certain company that's coming back.
Level 5? Is it level 5?
It is
Level
indeed
5
level
back,
5.
baby! Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I was going to put that in like the direct section. We can talk about that now if you've got to go, yeah.
Yeah.
I make a tweet. I made a tweet about it. Level 5. I couldn't believe it. When was let me tell you what. When we was watching that direct and that game come up, that Deca Police. I was like, this looks so interesting. It's like, at first I was thinking, who's developing? Who is this? Who's this? That's what I was like. Who is this? Who's developing this? Level 5 didn't even come into my head. Level 5 did not come into my head for who was developing this game. I just couldn't work out who it was. I'm like, this is so interesting. I was like, this is like one of those sort of games that would be like only in the Japanese direct, and we're not getting it, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like this kind of quirky type of game. It's like it's turn-based sort of combat, and it's sort of like it's in kind of like I guess there's a virtual reality thing that they're in, like they have a virtual reality where they do the investigations and stuff like that. That's this is so interesting. They come at level 5. I was like, no, I could not believe it. I was so shocked, even just for that one, because there was 3 of them. I remember that one game. I was like, level 5? What the? It's bleeping, bleeping, bleep, bleep. That was that was my reaction. I couldn't believe it was level 5. That it was level 5 at all, and the fact that it's it was in the Western Direct means they're doing a worldwide release of this. I was like, what's level 5 back? What's happening? What's happening here? Is this an alternative reality? Level 5 came back. So what they said was, because I have been like crapping on level 5 for a long time. I'm sure Genki remembers that the level 5 rants that I would have back when we were still on Twitter Spaces. I had probably multiple. What are they doing? It's like, how can you go from, like, you have to remember, at their peak, Yokai Watch was selling 6 million in Japan. That's how much Yokai Watch sold. They went from that to selling like less than 50,000 units a year. How do you mess that up? How do you mess that up?
Oh yeah, for a while, Yokai Watch was more popular than Pokemon.
It wasn't actually. If you look at the sales numbers, it wasn't actually more popular, but it was very, very, very popular. They got, like I said, 6 million in a year, right? Is what Yokai Watch 2 got. So it wasn't. It was up there though. I would say it was up there. And they had Yokai Watch. This is the thing. People don't know, because I followed this so closely. They had Yokai Watch stores like they have Pokemon centers. They had a whole bunch of Yokai Watch stores in Japan, and they had to close them all down. It's because they just so mismanaged Yokai Watch with like and then what they tried to do to try and it's like, oh, our audience is growing up, what do we do? Oh, let's make them all like, they do like shadow side nonsense, and they made them look all scary and stuff like that, and then they tried to pivot and change it back with Yokai Watch 4, and they brought back he's called Keta in what's his English name? Is like Nate. I think it's Nate. They brought
Nate
him
did?
back. Yeah, they brought him back, and the girl, they brought them back like through a like time travel or some nonsense like that, and then they changed the whole battle system to an action RPG where you're fighting with the yokai, so more like a SMT situation, but like real time action combat. People weren't having it. They flopped. They re-released it again. They put it on PS4. It flopped. They did a Yokai Watch Plus. It that flopped. There's flop after flop after flop after flop, left, right, and center. Because the guy, because these are the things. Remember, right? Akihiro, I think he said Akihiro. No, Akihiro Hino. I forgot what his first name is, but yeah, Hino. What we about Hino? He basically is level 5. He, like, a lot of it is him. A lot of it is him with like the concept and the designs and everything is all him, right? The thing is, he's like a genius when it comes to coming up with all this stuff. He just can't run a company. He doesn't know how to run a business. This is what I was going on. I was like, what's happening? But the thing is, like, they can't get rid of him because he is level 5, and level 5 is not a publicly traded company. It's a private company. So it's not like they can just, I'm like, well, I get rid of Hino, get rid of him. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. No, they can't, because he is like level 5. It's like, so much of it is him. Anyway, I went into a rant. Why didn't you stop me? You didn't stop me. Is Kike still here, or did they go? Kike, are you here?
No,
you're here. Sorry.
No,
I went into one. Sorry, we wanted to hear your thoughts. What did you think?
Listen, I've also seen the rise and fall of level 5. I remember when they tried to make Snack World a thing. Remember Snack World?
Oh God, I remember Snack World. Yes.
Oh, that was terrible. They tried to make a CG animation as well. It's horrible.
Did they? They made a CG animation of Snack World? No, I didn't know that. That one released in the West, but they heavily censored some certain things in that. That were in. I mean, it's a game for kids, right? But like some stuff flies in Japan that does not fly in the West. Like the genies that they had. When you look at the genies, you look at them, they're obviously like all gay, right? They're obviously gay. They've got like bondage gear on. Like this is what was in this game. The genies that are in the game, the purple genies or whatever, right? And they changed them in the Western release. They're obviously meant to be like gay genies, but they completely changed it. Stuff like that, right? But anyway, they did that one released in the West and that bombed, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, like seeing, because it was really sad at some point where they were like, man, we don't have any money. The only games that we're making are like Yokai Watch spin-offs. We got the soccer game that's in development hell.
It's been in development hell for years.
Yeah, and then I'm like, man.
They missed multiple World Cups.
Yeah. The thing, so I got surprised when I saw Deca Police. I'm like, oh, it's level 5 making another game. That's cool.
That actually looks really good.
Yeah, and the moment I was surprised, but they bringing back Fantasy Life.
I'm like, what? Fantasy Life?
Fantasy Life. I'm like that Fantasy Life? It's like, yes, that Fantasy Life that came out on the 3DS.
It's on the 3DS. I haven't played that one. My friend used to go on and on about that game, saying how good it was. You used to play Fantasy Life. Oh, okay. I just never got around to playing it. But I've heard it's good. This one, it looks like Fantasy Life, but it also looks like they've taken a couple of things from like Animal Crossing New Horizons, like the terraforming. It looks like you can do that in there, and but I mean apart from that, it looks like Fantasy Life. Oh well, yeah, and it says it's on an island. It says you're doing up an island, which is again like a bit like Animal Crossing New Horizons. Because don't forget the previous Animal Crossing games, it wasn't like you was on an island. You just went to a town that was already established. But yeah, this is more like you're building it up. But yeah, with Fantasy Life, it's like it's kind of like a little bit of life sim, and also like you're going and doing like action combat and stuff like that. Is that right, Kika?
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah, it was like make your own town and then just make it as best as you can. It's not a farming sim. It's more Animal Crossing than like Harvest Moon, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But the real game that made me so happy, I was on the verge of tears.
Mm-hmm.
My boy came back, my man. From the dead. They're bringing Professor Layton back. And I'm like, oh,
Professor Layton is back.
It's been
Yeah, I was good. I was shocked by this as well. I was shocked by because the last Layton game, like, because one of the things is like I remember I was speaking to someone recently. It's like, what happened to Professor Layton? Where's that gone? I'm like, no, it's just gone because level 5 are just, I don't know what. They're just kind of gone now. The last one was that one with, it was like his daughter or whatever. Is that his daughter? The one, and they did release that was on Switch and mobile.
that was on mobile, then 3DS, and then Switch.
And then Switch. Okay. So that was the last one. And then it just, and people were like, okay, so why didn't they even put? I don't know if the old Layton games, did they port those to mobile? Or maybe they did. I'm not sure.
Yes. Yes, they did.
The old ones were on mobile, so people are like, okay, why, they're on mobile, why didn't you put them on Switch or Steam or whatever it is? They didn't do that, but a brand new Layton game, looking pretty good actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we already got a tease of it. Did they give a release window or a year?
This year.
So this year.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to release all 3 of these games this year?
I'm not sure we got a date for the Layton one. The other ones were 2023, though.
It did say 2023 at the end, at least in the American direct.
Okay, so Layton is 2023 as well.
Mm-hmm. For now, maybe they'll delay it, but yeah, now it's 2023.
Yeah, because we know that they've got these 3 games, and they're still Inazuma 11 apparently is still coming. They said there's going to be like a presentation, like I think this month, maybe later this month or something. For Inazuma 11, which, like, that game has been delayed so many times that, like, they had the anime that's like runs. It was meant to be running alongside the game, times with the game, and they had to, because the game got delayed, they had to go ahead with the anime, and then I think what they did is like they changed the name or they changed the name of the game. They did something so it wasn't as like directly tied in because the anime had already aired. But yeah, I mean, this is what they do. Level 5 does a lot of these like cross media, like everything's cross media. They went too crazy with it with Yokai Watch and the cross media stuff, in my opinion, and I think that's part of their downfall of why they milked that franchise completely dry. There's still people saying, okay, well, where's Yokai Watch 4? I actually don't think they're going to go back and release Yokai Watch 4 at this point, because first of all, we already know about 4 games that they're doing for definite, right? And I think that they're giving Yokai Watch like a little, and when it comes to like main games, I know that there was like some collab recently they did with a VTuber or something, with Japan from Yokai Watch. I saw something like that, but I think they're giving it I hope they're giving it a rest. I think it'd be wise to give it a rest. I feel like if they release 4 at this point in the West, because don't forget it's already out in Japan years ago, I think it just muddles things, and it's like, you're spending money to like localize that we don't don't necessarily have a follow-up or anything to tie in with it, and it's kind of like, okay, well, this is number 4, where's the other games? Oh, well, they're all stuck on 3DS, apart from one which they did port to Switch, but then that's also only in Japan. And I feel like it's probably better that they invest their time and money in this new stuff. They've got 1 new IP, 2 IPs coming back, and Inazuma 11, who, I don't know when that's coming out, but yeah. So yeah, looking pretty good. I'm happy. Level 5 is back. They're back. Cause this is the thing. Like, their games are good. Like, it's not. They didn't necessarily. They were just severely mismanaged. I feel like that was the problem. It was severe mismanagement.
Yeah, Professor Layton 3 was one of the first games that made me cry. Like the ending of Professor.
I haven't played it. I haven't played it.
Oh,
is it really that good?
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh my gosh, I need to go. Do you know I bought all those like ages ago? I found them on this is how long I've had them. I bought them on the DS carts. I found them cheap, and then I haven't even played them since I got them.
Yeah, they're so charming, and the puzzles are great. Like,
oh no, I played 1.
Really
I played a bit of 1, I think.
Yeah, I wonder who's localizing these games because they didn't Level 5 America shut down.
It did. They shut down the Western offices they had in the States. They used to have like a partnership with Nintendo. Nintendo published the Yokai Watch games and
And the
some
Latin
of the
game.
other games and the Latin games in the West, and I think they like did the localization or at least helped them. I think it might have been Nintendo of Europe who did that. Now, I, I all I know is that Deca Police is multi-platform, so that one's also going to be on PlayStation. The other two have only been announced for Switch and I think maybe PC. Um, and because all three of these games showed up in a direct, they have some sort of marketing deal or something going on with Nintendo. Whether it's publishing, I don't know because I've heard people. So I haven't checked this myself. They said they looked, and it looks like these games are all going to be published by Level 5, which is in the West. Which is like I'm like okay, but they don't have all their Western stuff is shut down. So like, how have they suddenly got all this money and resources to be publishing all these games in the West when they haven't had anything for years? I don't know. So I don't know if they are. Is there some sort of deal or something going on with Nintendo where they're helping, or is this all Level 5 or someone else? Because where's all this money come from? Because like when Yokai Watch like kind of nosedived, like they were in like serious trouble, and like apparently like people left and went to the Pokemon Company, all this type of thing, like the developers and stuff. So I don't know
No,
how I don't know how they. I don't know how this is happening now. So, your guess is good as mine at this point until we get more info. I'm not sure, but people say they are being published by Level 5.
then at this point, I hope these games do well because if these three games don't do well, then I'm afraid they're gonna go the way of Alpha Dream, man. I'm afraid they're gonna
No,
go.
don't say that. No, but people have been saying for years that Level 5 is gonna they're gonna close down. They're going bankrupt. They're gonna get bought. They're gonna Tencent's gonna buy them. Bandai Namco's gonna buy them. Like all this was going on for years. People saying that this and that was gonna happen in Level 5, and it never did. They were always still there. Just that they had like stuff that just flop. They had that Megaton Musashi was a flop. It flopped so hard they made it free to play. It's a free to play game now. They had like even their mobile games flopped. They had all different Yokai Watch mobile
Nino
games.
Kuni 2 didn't do that well.
Didn't do that. Didn't. Yeah, that's true. Although that's Bandai. This publishes that one.
Yeah,
But
but still,
it didn't do that well. No.
yeah, I'm
So
just
yeah,
yeah. I just don't want them to go away. I just hope like this is I hope this is the start of something. I hope
I
this is the
hope
start
so.
of something, and then if they are successful, I want them to learn from this and don't go back to like, oh, we're doing well again. Let's go multimedia again. I'm like, no.
Oh no. No, they're spreading themselves too thin with all these multimedia projects that they do, and not only do they do that, when they do it, like, and then because I watched people made whole documentaries like on YouTube about Level 5 and what happened and how Yokai Watch just went into the dumpster and it just was a disaster. It's because when they then were going to okay, we're bringing Yokai Watch to the West. They licensed out all that, like, so that toys went to Hasbro, and then the anime went to Disney, and then they had all these different separate companies all doing stuff, and then not like consulting. Nothing was like organized, or they're consulting with each other or anything like that, and it was all over the place. It was all over the
Yeah.
place. So then like they had stuff that wasn't doing well, and then like I know with the toys that they have initially, there was a shortage of these like it was like these medals that you get in Yokai Watch, and like when you the way you like catch a yokai, you don't catch them, you befriend them, and they give you their medal. So they made these medals in real life, and they were low key like amiibo. There's NFCs in them. There's ones with NFC chips in them that you could use on the 3DS. And when they first released those, there was like a shortage of them, and then people went crazy and they were scalping them. And then they was like, okay, so let's make loads of them, and they completely flooded the market. The price collapsed with all these medals, and they were just on store shelves. Like, jeez, it was so bad. It was so badly managed, man. I don't know how they managed to do that. And then that happened, and all of their franchises started going down. Like, obviously Professor Layton disappeared for years. We had Inazuma 11 disappeared, but they're bringing them back. They're bringing them back. Fantasy
Yeah.
Life is coming back. This is a brand new Fantasy Life, even though it's called Fantasy Life I, which makes it sound like it's like one that it's been remade or something. But I think this one's brand new. The Girl Who Steals Times. That's called. This Deca Police looks really good. It's got a really quirky kind of style to it. They said it's like like an investigation detective sort of RPG type thing. So it's really good to see them getting back into RPGs, getting back into, because obviously they do different genres. They're not like just one genre company, right? So yeah, I admit I did not have any faith in level 5. I was wrong. I kind of did, I did crap on them quite a lot because I'm just like, what are they doing? But I really want this stuff to succeed, as you said. I really hope that, as you said, Kiko, that they don't go down this crazy multimedia route with everything. I think there's going to be. I honestly think there's going to be some multimedia stuff with this. I think they will do some.
You mentioning all the how they couldn't manage Yokai Watch well reminds me of the reason why the Pokemon company was made. I think of it was because Nintendo knew they didn't know how to handle a multimedia franchise, and neither did Game Freak and neither did Creature. So they basically made a whole new company
just to manage it.
Yeah, and I think maybe.
See, that's what that's a really, really good point you bring up. That is how Pokemon is, because it's all coordinated and managed by the Pokemon company. Level 5 didn't do that. They farmed it out to all these different other companies. This is what I'm saying.
I don't know if they wanted to. I don't know if they wanted to, spin off a part of Level 5. Okay, you guys just focus on Yokai. Just focus on Yokai. We will handle games and such, but everything else, that's on you. And I don't know if that would have made it better, or it would still lead to the downfall. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that they were a game company, and then they try to be more.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want to say goodbye to David's cast, JRPGs. He says he has to go. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for the show. Thanks a lot for coming through, David. Take care. Yeah, I really wish they would just focus. I've said this before. How can they kind of come back from this? I'm they need to focus on their core franchises, But they have made a new IP. That it looks really good. I really hope that one does well, because that one looks fairly ambitious for level 5. Because obviously their games are not they're not that. They're developing 3DS games for years, right? So they're not they're not super advanced or anything like that. But what makes them so good is the gameplay, the art style, the designs, the world. Yeah, they're so charming,
Yeah, the charm is basically what draws everybody in.
Yeah, and the music's really good. I remember the Yokai Watch music is. I really loved that. The music in Yokai Watch. It really because when I played Yokai Watch 1, I feel like it really took me into that. Because you're looking at a little 3DS screen, right? But I feel like it really took me into that atmosphere. I was running around this town. It's sitting in a certain town. You run the town, you get to go into the school when you're searching for yokai. You're looking in the trees and everything, and I think you can find the yokai in the trees. You're looking and you run you can go different parts that you go. That there's a sort of park or wooded area, and then you run up to it there's a shrine at the top of a really long sort of staircase and everything. I think that's where you find Whisper. He's near there in the woods somewhere. I feel like it really took me into the atmosphere of the game on this tiny little 3DS screen. The fact that they can do that with such limited hardware, I think is like really to the strength of strategy that they're a really good developer. But it's just they're just no good at managing all this like multimedia crap and trying to do all this stuff at the same time. Like I said, they had a whole, look it up, Google it. There was a whole bunch of Yokai Watch stores in Japan. There was like they were trying to do like a Pokemon type thing. There was a whole bunch of stores and they all closed. So yeah, so like when people look at Pokemon, it's like, oh, why isn't other companies doing this? Why is no one like they say Pokemon has no competition? Everything. Other companies and other people have tried. They have tried. It is really difficult. It's not just like, oh, when you make something, it's popular, and then because Yokai Watch was extremely popular, it was extremely popular. How is it like now dead? It's not that easy, right? And the fact that they didn't like with Pokemon, they release these generations. They keep releasing generations, but it's every few years, right? It's every few years, and that way you're refreshing it. You're getting new people in. You're getting new kids in, which is an important thing. And then they grow up with the franchise. With Yokai Watch, they released those games too. But there was a whole load of them, like really, really quickly. Like 1 year, there's one next year, and they released them like really, really fast. A whole load of them, too close to each other, right? And they kind of like spent themselves, right? And in that time, the kids that were, you know, with the first Yokai Watch game, they were in middle school. There's like, oh, these kids are in middle school. We need to age up the protagonists. We need to make the They did look it up again. This whole shadow side thing where they did the movie, the shadow side that made them all like scary looking and all this nonsense, and it just alienated the audience. That completely alienated them. And that's when they did the pivot. They tried to go back. With Yokai Watch 4, they tried to go back. They brought Keita back. They brought the normal Jibanyan back through like a time travel portal or whatever nonsense it is they were doing. But they completely changed the gameplay. They made it action combat, and it flopped, cratered. Nobody wanted that. They wanted like regular Yokai Watch. But yeah, that's what happened. It was mismanaged. So I really hope they do. Is Genki gone to sleep, man? I've been banging on about level 5 for so long. Sorry, Genki. I'm sorry. Is Genki gone?
Oh, hey.
No, he's here. It's just like, Genki's just like, I do not give a flying flip about flippity floppity flip level 5. I don't care.
No, I like level 5.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Later, but yeah, recently I don't care about them because they haven't been putting out anything good. But yeah, I'm glad they're trying to come back.
What do you think about the games they showed in the direct?
Oh yeah, the Deca Police looks really cool. So yeah, that was the most impressive one.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I'm not interested in Fantasy Life at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't appeal to me. But the Professor Layton, that'll be good. See if it's like, will it be touch controls or like how would they do it? Like this new one,
It's a good question.
That'd be cool to see. It'll be like point and click still, or
Yeah. I mean,
change
it's
up.
It's puzzles. They'll just make puzzles around the regular control.
They'll have to make it so that they'll probably have touchscreen in there, but they'll have to make it so you can also just do it on the television screen. So they'll probably have something like maybe motion controls with Joy-Con as well, or maybe I don't know, man.
Okay, yeah, like for a cursor and stuff. Makes sense.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
But it's good. Yeah, good to see level 5. They're not bankrupt.
They're
or
not
like
dead, not bankrupt. I don't know, Genki. I don't know how they've been going these past few because they've been releasing hardly anything. I know it's not like their mobile games are doing crazy good because I know that like they had mobile games that flopped, and I think that Ni no Kuni mobile game that came, I think they weren't actually involved in that. Kike, do you know? I feel like that. I heard that they weren't actually the developer of it. It was like
I heard
I
that
think they do it.
I think it was NetEase or someone.
Yeah.
It was
I heard that
NetEase.
I believe so, because it was like a phone MMO, and usually when it's a phone MMO, it's usually NetEase.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't even think they did that. They weren't directly involved in that game, in that mobile game, and again that would be all Bandai. So it's like basically it's Bandai's IP, right? It's not even Level 5's IP. So yeah, Ni no Kuni. Yeah, even that wasn't doing that well. And as you said, Kika, the second game wasn't crazy well received. So yeah, so we had that. That was Pokemon personally, that was one of my highlights of the direct. Was seeing the return of level 5. Level 5 is back, baby. Genki, can you read the comments of was I like go to the loo? I need a toilet break.
Oh, okay, sure. What did we get up to? I'm not sure. Let's go back to um. Jago says Sonic Frontiers is indeed the first Sonic game that's since Sonic Heroes to sell 3 million units. Yeah, good to see Sonic selling well. I wish Sega could give us the platform breakdown for Persona 5 Royal. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I imagine it sold good on Switch. In Japan, like, yeah, the Switch version sold the best. It'll be interesting to see, yeah, how well it sold on like PC and on PlayStation. Yeah, I don't think it sold that much on PlayStation because people probably already bought it on like PlayStation 4 or like bought the PlayStation 4 version. And on Xbox it was on Game Pass, so I doubt there was that many standalone sales. So probably yeah, Switch and PC sold the most. Yeah, and then he says I was before Sonic Colors Ultimate released. Oh, okay, that was Sonic Heroes, I think. And yeah, JD got the mouth of a sailor. Lol. Oh yeah, Jodie likes to cuss, so Jodie need one of those bleeping sensors. That's what J2 Blue says. We should get one of those. Well, she can have a button that she presses, so then she can cuss to her heart's content because she likes to cuss a lot. And then Game Killer said, "I wonder how much they'll be making just by buying those PS5s. It's wild." Yep, yeah, it's quite wild. The situation in Japan is really like I know scalping happens everywhere, especially like in Corona, like COVID and stuff. It happened a lot, but in Japan it was like extra bad because of the whole situation and the yen, the weak yen. It just makes it so much worse in Japan with the scalpers. And it sucks for the PlayStation market because like normal people can't buy them, and yeah, now like the software market, it's like 2 years like people couldn't buy a PlayStation 5 in Japan, so that really like killed the market a lot. So yeah, it's trying to recover now, but the software sales are still very bad. So hopefully it can recover, but it needs like some what's it? It needs like a shock, like then that shock would be like the big software, like hopefully Final Fantasy 16 can shock it and like revive it back to life, but it will never be as good as it was before, but at least it could at least like not be dead. So we hope that happens with Final Fantasy and some more big games coming into Japan. And yeah, J2 Blue says Fire Emblem's owned by Nintendo, but Intelligence is, I'm not sure about that. I think it's co-owned by Fire Emblem IP is co-owned by Nintendo and Intelligent Systems. So yeah, Nintendo, I don't think they fully own it, like you said. But yeah, I'd have to check again. But the last time I checked, it was like, I think it's a 50-50 or something close to that in terms of the ownership. Or maybe it's just like they have license for the games and a separate license. But yeah, it's definitely a shared thing.
Right, I'm back. I'm back. First of all, I just want to say, Juice Man Von, you take that back right now. You take that back. Juice Man Von saying Yokai Watch was mid anyway. No, it wasn't. It was not mid. You're mid, Juice Man Von. You're mid. Anyway, continue.
Oh yeah, I'm with that bit. Game Killer says level 5 love that in that direct made me so happy, especially Fantasy Life. Never thought I would get another one of those. Oh yeah, that's true. That came out of the blue. It's kind of a knockback to the olden days. David Cast JPC, I'm excited for Layton. Yes, I mean the return of Layton. Yeah, me too. And bad latency. Hey, thanks for the comment. Fantasy Life 1 is basically Isekai the game. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, that's good. And J2 Blue engaged. Now it's your turn, Capcom. Where's Ace Attorney 7? Very sad, but Ghost Trick isn't getting a physical. But good news.
Oh yeah, I heard that. No, I'm not surprised though, to be honest, for that game.
He says the Japanese copy of Ghost Trick includes English. So in Japan they're making a physical one?
In
I
Japan, they're
don't.
making a
Oh, no
physical.
idea.
Are they?
I have no idea. I don't. I'm not sure. And I know that Gamatsu was saying like there isn't a physical version.
They did. Yeah, I saw
This
that.
is
Like they had to correct it
they
or
made a
something.
correction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think maybe there's one in Japan, but I haven't heard of one yet. So we'll see. Game Killer says I really thought Level 5 was gonna close down soon. Yeah, me too. So I'm hoping these 3 games turn things around. Yes, and Inazuma whenever that comes out. So yeah, I'm already interested in Deca Police and Fantasy Life. Aye. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Deca Police looks really good. Fantasy Life, I hope it does good. Yeah,
Mousy
it's not my
Mousy!
personal
Hi,
thing.
Mousy Mousy!
Oh hey, Mousy. Yeah, glad for Level 5 coming back, but my wallet is already dead.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Man.
Mousy. Yeah, I gave Mousy's wallet a name. I think I'll call it Wallet Chan. Wallet Chan.
Wallet
Yeah,
Chan.
Wallet Chan's not doing so well these days. Yeah, Wallet Chan needs some help. I need too much. Yeah, too many games coming out. Yeah, David had to go. Thanks for joining. And then Juice Fan, yeah, Yokai Watch.
You
was
take that
made
back, Juice.
anyway.
Juice Man, you take that back. You take it back.
Yeah, I never got into Yokai Watch.
I'm joking, Juice
I
Man.
got into
Welcome.
Inazuma. I think Inazuma.
I never got. I'm the other way around. I got into Yokai Watch, but I didn't get into Inazuma.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then Arosh says, I hope they port the latent games before the new one.
Yeah,
Oh,
we was
that-
just talking about that they're
that
on
would
mobile,
happen.
but they're not on on anything
Yeah,
else, right? They're-
Yeah. Even maybe I think he's talking about the old DS ones, but yeah, I don't think it would do that. Yeah. Maybe like they'll roll out the DS player on the Switch next. I don't know. Maybe on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, on the
Online, and you
thing.
can play it. Oh wait, you can't do that because it's dual screen. Oh yeah, I don't know how that would work.
It's
Yeah,
it
with
is
the DS it
possible
would be
because
difficult,
if
yeah.
you use like an emulator or whatever, you
Yeah,
can make
you
you can make
you
you can put both. And anyway they had it on the Wii U. There was DS games on the virtual
Oh,
console on the
really?
Wii U. Yeah, that's how they did
Okay.
it.
Oh, because yeah, they'll probably send one up to the. Yeah, you could do that. Like, imagine you turn your Switch to the side and then you can do touchscreen on the bottom.
Yeah.
There's
Also,
ways.
oh,
Yeah.
Kofi's here. Kofi, you should have. I didn't know
Oh,
you was
hey.
here. You should have put. You should have. Oh God, what? Did you write something in the
There's
chat?
physical versions according to PlayAsia. Oh, that's cool.
Did Kofi write something in the chat? I never saw it. Sorry, Kofi. I just got back from the loo. I didn't see. Oh, sorry, Kofi. I'll bring you in.
Oh, Wallet Chan is on life support. That's what my. And then
Yeah.
I'll
I
visit
feel
them
that.
in the emergency room or in
Oh dear. Yeah. Welcome, Kofi.
Hey guys,
Hi.
Friday.
Hey.
Happy Friday.
Happy Saturday to Genki.
Oh
Well, yeah, Saturday
it's
night.
past 12 now.
Or almost, right?
Oh no, it's
Yeah,
12:30 now. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually, the only thing I saw the label of your episode today was Level 5 is back, and you know,
Level 5 is back,
you and I,
baby!
Jodie, have gone back and forth about Level 5. for a
Yeah,
while.
man. Because you remember from Spaces, like I had a few rants about Level 5 back then, but you know what? They might be proving me wrong here with these games that look really good, and they're doing now. They're obviously they're worldwide releases, which was another issue because they have stuff they haven't released outside of Japan, and we knew that their Western offices are closed and all this. So this. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy that they're back, and I know everyone's like, oh, they're gonna go bankrupt. You know, all this people have been saying for years, but they're back. Level
I have
5.
no idea how Megaton Musashi made any money, but I find so you mentioned this that Megaton Musashi went free in their new release Megaton Musashi Cross, and I finally started playing the game. I had bought the physical version way back in 2021. I just didn't have enough time. It's a pretty fun game. I'm pretty impressed with the mix of exploration, storytelling, and then gameplay.
So what type of gameplay is it?
So the gameplay is very much mecha. very much inspired by their Danbor Senki series that was on 3DS and on Vita.
Mm.
But now there is like a story mode where you basically start. I'm going to spoil just the first like hour of the game because it's the main premise and the anime. By the way, there's an anime as well. But you're just an average high school kid who likes to fight, hanging out in a school, and then all of a sudden you're recruited to defend the Earth from aliens. And the main
Naturally.
character's like, what is going on? And what the people who facilitate these robots that the main character pilots is, he's telling them, hey, you experienced an alien invasion and your family was killed, but we ended up saving one small district or like a city. And we want the people in this city to live a normal life. So everybody's life in the city has been wiped, and they just are going about their business. But certain members in that society know of the alien invasion because they're basically saying, hey, when we defeat the aliens, we don't want everybody to be traumatized. We want life to continue on.
Is
So
this a game
it's
for
the
kids?
balance
This sounds
now.
kind of wild.
It is, and the main character is kind of badass. Excuse my language, but like usually it's like a kid who's kind of like angsty and doesn't have the confidence. Nah, this main character, he's young and he's like, all right, let's go out, let's go, mop up some aliens. So I appreciate that. And he kind of has like a rival character who is also recruited. And so the two of them are kind of playing off of each other in a unique way. And then of course Level 5 is famous for their anime animations. You know what I mean? Like sequences. And that's in this game as well. And I'm just like, wow, they just made this game free, but it feels like it's still a game I should have paid for. I mean, I did. I did buy it. It's just very, very surprising that it didn't get localized at all. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I was in the doldrum. You said they originally came out in 21, so I between then and now, I don't know what's happened. Because we were talking about this, like, so they're coming out of all these games that are like slated for this year. It's like, okay, where do they suddenly have the money and the resources to be doing all these games when they couldn't even get Inazuma 11? They've been developing that for years. Like, it's been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and then they showed footage of it and you're like, hang on, how have you had trouble developing this game? So I don't know, like, I was speculating that maybe Nintendo was helping them, or they had some sort of marketing deal, because Nintendo used to publish the Yokai Watch games and the Professor Layton games and that in the West. But some people have said that it's Level 5 publishing them in the West, which I'm like, okay, so how are they doing that? Because all their offices and all that closed.
Yeah, I'm surprised if they are.
So Kofi, I have no idea. I actually don't know. I mean, I guess we'll get more info as time, like, goes on and get closer to it. But however they're doing it, if maybe they got some investment for Tencent or something, I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad they're back, and that they're actually doing worldwide releases, which I don't think they've ever done that before.
Deca Police looks great.
Deca Police looks really good. I'm really looking for I don't know what you've felt, Kofi, but when I first saw that come up on the screen, I was like, God, this looks so interesting. It looks so good. I was watching. I was like, who's making this? Level 5 never came into my head. It just didn't. Like, it just didn't come into my head. I was shook. I was shook when I saw Level 5, and I was even more shook when they showed that they're doing 2 other games as well.
Yeah, right. Because Layton is back, right? And then I guess they had that other one that was only on the Japanese version of the Nintendo Direct. I don't remember.
They had a 4th game?
Right? Wasn't it 4 games, Genki?
I thought it was just 3.
Just 3 in the Direct.
Fantasy
but
Life.
They have the other one is Inazuma, but that wasn't in the Direct.
Inazuma 11 hasn't even been slated for like a worldwide base. I believe that is only Japan. It's Japan only for now. But yeah, as you said, Kofi, they do a lot of or what we were saying that before is that they do a lot of this like multimedia stuff, right? And I feel like that was their downfall before when it came to Yokai Watch, especially.
Right.
Like that they spread themselves really, really, really thin. Like I was saying, they had like the Yokai Watch stores all over Japan. Like they had, like how they have Pokemon centers. They had Yokai Watch stores. Well, they all closed down. They closed down years ago. And they had all this stuff. They try and do all these like movies and toys and everything, and it wasn't managed well. Unlike what Kike said is that basically that's we was talking about like when you compare it to Pokemon. That's why they formed the Pokemon company, because they couldn't manage all that stuff, and Nintendo couldn't do it. They're like, oh, we can't do this multimedia stuff, so they just formed a separate whole company, like literally just to manage the Pokemon brand, and like it's all coordinated. Whereas with Level 5, when they did Yokai Watch, when they eventually, because they took ages to load. That was another problem why it failed in the West. They took years to localize the games. When they eventually localized the games, and then the localization was kind of low key not good, but that's just another issue, right? When they brought them to the West, and then they bought the anime, they bought the toys and everything, they had all different companies manage all these different things, like individually in different regions, and that none of them coordinated with each other, and that was part of the problem as well. So honestly, I thought there was one of these companies that was going to go bank, we're going to see bank, like you're just going to see a thing come up on the thing, oh, Level 5 is closed. Level 5's gone. Yeah. But luckily that didn't happen. They're still and I said, like, Hino, like, I feel like Hino is like, he's so talented when it comes to making these worlds, making these games and everything. He just cannot manage a company, man. Like, how do you go from having Yokai Watch sold 6 million it's selling 6 million a year in Japan. That's what Yokai Watch 2 sold. How do you go from that to selling less than 50,000 units in a year? Like, I don't know. And it's not like they were doing good with their mobile stuff was flopping as well. So I don't know, like, to be that badly mismanaged, like, to just like miss the boat with Yokai Watch and how big that was at the time, where people were saying, oh, it's gonna, at the time they were saying it's gonna be, bigger than Pokemon, it's competing with Pokemon and all, and it was competitive with Pokemon at the time, at its peak. But yeah, they're kind of all went away. And part of my, because I don't know if you remember Kofi on my rants, like, I was saying that, in any other company, they would have gotten rid of Pino. But they can't, because he is Level 5. He basically is Level 5. He comes up with all these concepts and the designs and everything. It's like, it's mainly him. A lot of it is him. A lot of it is actually him. So they can't get rid of him.
But he doesn't take advantage of some of the business decisions that keep IPs alive. Like you were saying, the one Yokai Watch grew up a little fast, right? They had dark themes, and it was like, you might be able to get away with that, but I think you need to also support the younger install base consistently. So that's kind of...
They tried to pivot with Yokai Watch 4 and go back and brought back the old characters and stuff, but it's too late by then, and they changed up all the gameplay, and it just didn't work. So it was like releasing they released some games too fast, because it was the main Yokai Watch game. There was a whole load of spin-offs. I think some of them were just Japan only, right? Some of them came West. But there was like a whole bunch of spin-offs as well, and they were just like, they were releasing these games too fast. I think was part of the problem. But anyway, that's enough. With the crapping on level 5 section is done. We're praising them now. They're coming back. They're coming back. Deca Police looks awesome. I like the concept's pretty interesting. It's like you go into like some sort of virtual reality world to do the investigations. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, very interesting concept. I really like the designs. I thought the character designs looked really good. Very quirky. That's why when I was watching it, I'm like, who's making this? I was like, who would design a game that looks like this? But yeah, level 5, it makes sense. Yeah, that's really interesting. It seems to be like there's investigations, and then there's also like it looks like they were turn-based battles.
Yes, that's what I kind of like.
Yeah. So it's good to see them doing an RPG again.
To be honest, I'm trying to think. What's the last turn-based game they did? Was that like a tactics game? Like one of my favorite games by them is on PSP called Zone d'Arc. That's probably it's probably like the most I've fallen in love with a level 5 game. But yeah, Rogue Galaxy was real time. Dark Cloud was real time.
Right.
know any turn-based
So the Yokai Watch games were like
That's right, well,
semi turn based, I would say.
You're right.
They were like when you played it, like the yokai would they would kind of like almost like auto battle, like they would fight automatically, and then you had to do different things to that you, it was like I think you had like 6 yokai, and then you flipped, you kind of like scrolled, and then you get the other 3 in, and if you stood certain ones next to each other that were the same tribe, right, they would like, what do you call it, I think they'd like buff each other or something like that, or they would something. I remember, so it's been so long since I played that. Something would happen. So it was semi-turn based, and you sort of like you could give them food or different things to get them like powered up, and then once they powered up, you did like almost like these. It's almost like a mini game on the bottom screen where you tap these different like circles that come up, or you would spin something really fast with the stylus or something like that, and I'd power them up, and then they would do like their like an ultimate, but it was called something. It was called in the game. It was like an ultimate attack or something like that. Like they're special or something like that. And like Jabanium was like fists of fury. And he did the thing. So yeah. So I would describe it as it was like semi turn based. It wasn't like a normal turn based game. I wouldn't call that fully like turn based as in like just standing around and nothing happens until you do a command. It wasn't like that.
Right.
Whereas this one looks like it kind of is. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I agree.
It kind of looks like that.
Yeah, for some reason that got me pretty excited. I like the tactics and strategy with turn-based, so good for them.
Yeah, I'm really glad level 5's back. And then obviously they bring back Professor Layton, which was a surprise to me. I thought that IP was dead. And then Fantasy Life. Which is pretty. I've never actually played it. A friend of mine played it. It is really good. I've never played it personally, but I think that one would do fairly well because people like simulation type. But it's not. I mean, it's not exactly a farm. It's not completely farming. I think Kike said it was like a
Animal Crossing.
It's more like Animal Crossing rather than farming. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because Animal Crossing isn't really it's not a farming game, basically. It's not a farming sim like that. So yeah, so it's like that, but then it's like you can do combat as well, and I think you gather resources from the combat. Yeah, so that was pretty good. I was really really excited about that. We had in the chat. Marcy Mousy, I have a few rants. What would a lot be? a lot of rants. I don't know, man. I have a rant every now and again. As you know. Juiceman Vaughn says, did anyone play the Octopath Traveler 2 demo on PS5 yet? How was it? I have not. Has anybody here played it?
I had the time.
Not at the time.
Yeah.
I installed it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's going to be good anyway. So it's not like you need to play the demo to say, oh, am I going to get this game or not? Like, I feel like it's one of those games you already know it's going to be good, but it's kind of good to play the demo because it's like they do that thing where you get like the first a couple of chapters or something, and then the data carries over right to the main thing. So it's like almost like you can start the game early. So it's pretty cool when they actually do that, because I know sometimes they have demos where you can play it but then the data doesn't carry over, but yeah, I like it when they do the data carries over thing. So I haven't played it yet, but I know it's going to be good, so it's like I don't need to play it, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. I've got other stuff I'm playing as well, so I think Octopath Traveler 2 might have to go on the back burner. I also want to do the mobile game. I did the beta of the mobile Octopath Traveler, and it was really good, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to play that game. And then I never got around to it, but I need to get around to it soon because the way Square Enix has been just closing down their mobile games and live services left, right, and I'm like, okay, that's another one that's going to close down and it's going to be gone and lost to time. So I need to play.
Didn't they already announce that they were closing down?
No, they didn't. Don't say that, Kike. They didn't. The Octopath Traveler mobile game is not closing down. No, why are you saying that? They're closing down, but the Bravely Default one that was Japan only and never went worldwide, which is
Was it a Bravely?
This Bravely Default one, yeah, mobile game that they're closing down, which is again is annoying because that's another thing that's just once these mobile games are gone, that's it. They're gone. That's why I don't like the mobile live service games because there's some actually like games that they make for mobile that are actually good. Like with the the gacha thing aside, like the actual gameplay is good, right? So yeah. Since we're running really short on time, I'd like to. I'm really sorry, Genki. Is Genki still there? Was he sleeping? I'm sorry. Genki had something that he'd like to talk about, which is where's the tab? Not that.
Yeah, and I need to go, so I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Kike. It was really
No
nice
problem.
to join
Have a
us
good day.
again.
Thanks.
See you, Kike.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have here Genki tweeted this out. Genki, it's on the I've got it up on the share screen. So you should be able to see it on the stream. Genki's done a clip of this POS Bobby Kotick, who how is this man still there? Oh god. Anyway, Bobby Kotick is the CEO of Activision, and we know Activision Blizzard has not been the best company when it comes to like caring about their employees and ensuring their well-being, because there has been rife abuse that has been occurring at Activision Blizzard. We know that this emerged like over a year ago now, right? Bobby Kotick has never been held accountable for this, by the way. Never been held accountable. What happened is like there's lawsuits and everything, and then as soon as like it was like a few weeks later, that basically Microsoft decided that, oh well, they're embroiled in all this, we can get them on the cheap. So they got this like price set of like $69 billion. I say cheap for Microsoft, quote unquote, cheap for Microsoft, right? $69 billion, which is, it was cheaper than what Activision had been valued at previously, right? They'd been like a lot higher than that in the past, but the price went down because of the controversy, right? So they just like, okay, we're gonna get them. And after that, it's like, it's not like Microsoft has said, oh, when we're buying them, we're getting rid of Bobby Kotick. It's like, no, nothing's been said like that. He's still gonna be in charge. Anyway, he's a POS who is abusive of his employees himself. There's evidence that he he left basically like a voicemail to an employee, like a cabin crew member, I think, of his like private jet or something like that, and basically told her to maybe I shouldn't go say, I don't know, I don't know if it's against YouTube rules about what you can say, but so I don't want to say what he said. It's that bad that I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't probably say it. Anyway, Genki, are you there?
Oh yeah. That's it.
Okay, Genki, is it okay if I just play the clip? It's like a minute long.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play this clip. You won't be able to hear it in the... I don't think you can anyway. I don't know if there's any way to share... I'll look into it if there's a way to share audio, but it's going to be playing with a...
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to share... I don't know how to do that on Discord so you can hear it. I think I'd have to do like an actual share screen in Discord, which if I do that, I can't do that now because it's gonna jack up the stream, because it obviously uses the data, right? So yeah, I'm gonna play this and then you'll see it playing on the on the actual YouTube. So right, hang on, what am I doing there? Where'd it go? Oh my godfathers! Oh, here it is. Right, okay. Here we go. Can we full screen this?
Whether it's the FTC or the CMA or the EU, they don't know our industry. So they're trying to come up to speed and understand the industry better. I don't think they fully appreciate that it's a free-to-play business, that the Japanese and Chinese companies dominate the industry. You look at Sony, you look at Nintendo, they have these huge libraries of intellectual property. Sony Studios, it goes back, 80 years. Nintendo has the very best characters that exist in video games. And I think they are a little bit confused about where competition is today. The best companies in the world right now are companies like Tencent and ByteDance. And these are companies that all have protected markets. We've struggled to enter the Japanese market. We can't enter the Chinese market without a joint venture partner. And so the competition actually isn't European companies, American companies. It's really those companies in Japan and China. Whether it's the FTC or the CMA or the EU,
Oops, sorry, I've muted myself. I played that clip there, Genki. Like, quite a lot of what he said is factually not true. So some of what he said is not true, right? Or he's basically taken something like, oh well, Nintendo's characters are popular and they're well known. Is like equating being well known, like recognizable, with dominating the industry, but not actually like the actual numbers about what actually is, right? So when you're talking about free to play games, he said Japanese companies dominate free to play games. No, let me just ask you, what are the top free to play games? What are the top ones? Like free to play games that'll be on PlayStation or on Steam or whatever. Are you there? Is anyone there? Genki?
Oh, hey, I don't know what the...
Okay.
Fortnite or Candy
Fortnite,
Crush or...
Western. Apex Legends, Western. Genshin Impact, Chinese. I was kind of a little bit about that. But how many other Chinese games are dominating with free to play? No, it's actually not. If you look at what we call the big quote unquote Japanese publishers, Square Enix, Capcom, they have almost no footprint in like free to play games or mobile games. They have hardly any, right? You look at these companies are actually small, pale, and you just like equating like being well known, like household names, is not the same thing as like, oh, they are actually making the most money. So he said, oh well, Nintendo's characters, look at the best characters in the industry. They're well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that like Nintendo's like dominating like that. Like, first of all, most of Nintendo's mobile games have flopped. That's one thing. Like their mobile games flopped. They only got that Fire Emblem one that does fairly well. And yeah, so like when it comes to like the free to play games, they're all like the ones that dominate are all like Western games. I know what he's talking about. He said, oh, we struggled to make a footprint in Japan. Well, that's because you make a whole load of shooters and like Western style games that the people are not as interested in. There's people that are interested in them, but they're just not as interested in them. So I don't know, like being bought by Microsoft is not going to make their games suddenly sell in Japan. And China's a whole nother matter. He's right about the whole like restriction thing with like you can't just go in there as a company like, oh yeah, we're selling this now. You have to like almost like you have to partner with another company that then sells your stuff in China. You can't just go there and like, okay, we're Nintendo and we're going to sell Switches in China. No, they had to go through Tencent to sell Switches in China. So yeah, Genki, let's hear your thoughts. Sorry, it was your rant. I don't know why you let me rant. Why you just told me to shut the F up? Go ahead, Genki.
Oh no, it's cool. Oh yeah, I was just surprised like he said that Japan dominates the industry and how he's like lumping Japan and China together like they're the same thing. So yeah, that was my issue with his thing, with his statements, and yeah, I don't understand. Like, I think he's trying to make it like it kind of seems a bit Trumpian or whatever you would say, like trying to like put all the blame towards like others or like Asia. Um, yeah, I don't like that kind of rhetoric that he was going on about. And yeah, if you look at the facts, yeah, you can see like in terms of the whole gaming industry, which includes mobile, then like to say Japan dominates it, like it's kind of crazy. And yeah, because like in mobile, like I don't think there's that many Japanese mobile games that are super popular worldwide. I know they're like dominate in Japan, but outside of Japan, I can't think of that many. I don't actually know that many Japanese games that do really well on mobile outside of Japan, or like outside in the West at least. So to say like yeah that Japanese companies dominate the industry when if like I think it's pretty even. Like maybe like the revenues of Nintendo and Sony are a lot higher than a lot of other companies, but and think in the on the whole, like in Japan, apart from like Nintendo and Sony, and maybe yeah, the other companies they're not that as big. Like maybe the next biggest one is like Bandai Namco. If you compare that to like EA or Take Two or like a load of other Western studios, like I think it's like I don't see like this domination going on that he's talking about. So yeah, I think they're just using Japan as a, like an excuse to say like, oh, we deserve to compete more. But I think yeah, it's a poor excuse because like yeah, Bobby Kotick Bobby Kotick he like owns Call of Duty, and yeah, Blizzard they have like games like Candy Crush that do really well worldwide, and like yeah, Call of Duty as I was saying was like the top selling game in the United States for like 15 years in a row. So yeah, to say that like other people are dominating the industry, and like yeah, I think that it doesn't make sense. Like especially coming from his position where he owns like Activision, which is like yeah, just like is the most high selling game every year. So yeah, I think his arguments don't make sense, and they're a bit silly. And I don't like how he's like trying to make it like a Western versus Asian kind of argument. Yeah, so that yeah, I just didn't like those things. Is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Genki. I'm kind of surprised that like because I've never even heard about this thing of like lumping China and Japan together and saying that they're dominating the entire game industry. I don't even know what he's defining as a game industry. He's saying like well mobile as well. So when it comes to like China and they're not really a console nation, right? Because of the restrictions they had there for years with consoles, right? So they're like all mobile and PC, right? So China has a load of mobile games, yes, but like most of those mobile games actually like they're not popular worldwide. They're like just in China. The one that has been like a really big breakout hit is Genshin Impact, but most of them are not. They're Tencent is huge, but most of their games, their business is in China. It's within China. And like you said, Genki, like when you come to Japanese companies, they don't really have mobile games like that are popular. There really isn't hardly any really that are like super popular, top grossing mobile games that are like dominating. And then you look at the size of these, like I said, something can be a household name and well known and been around for decades. Like I said, Sony Studios, whatever, it's been around for, did you say 80 years? Is that true? I don't know. But it's been around for.
Oh no, maybe he's talking about Sony, the company.
Sony, the company.
Yeah.
The company. Oh yeah, okay, but they didn't always
I think it's like 70 something years old, but yeah.
Well,
but so he said Sony Studios, or like PlayStation Studios.
So he means Sony though, because he said studios, which hasn't been around for 80 years. So if he says Sony as a company, okay, well that's a stupid argument because Nintendo's been around for 130 years or something. Well, so what? They weren't making games back then. They started making games relatively recently. So just because somebody's been around for a long time, or they're like a household name or something.
Games since the 90s. So.
Right, it doesn't mean they dominate. It doesn't mean they dominate the industry. When you look at the actual size of these companies, the biggest, like one of the biggest third-party Japanese developers, like you said, or like companies, like which isn't even all games, is like you said, Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco is really big. It's much bigger than Square Enix, it's much bigger than Capcom. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than those because they have the whole toy business, right? They're enormous. So, but they're not when it comes to when you compare Bandai Namco to EA, EA dwarfs them. Like the Western companies are much bigger. You can talk about China and their industry, the mobile, like where they have Tencent's big, NetEase is big, but like they've had this thing where they're trying to break out and get all these like mobile games popular worldwide, but they're not, a lot of them, because they're kind of made for the Chinese audience, right? And Chinese tastes or something like that. The one that really broke out was Genshin Impact, because they're just like, okay, well, screw that. Let's just. I mean, they kind of, it was heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild, of course. And it's like, well, let's do that, and let's make it anime style, and then bish bash bosh, and they made that, and that was popular, So because they were going with something different. So, yeah, I don't know why he's, like you said, Genki is like the thing that kind of irked you was this East versus West thing, that he's like, what is that? What is that all about? I've never even heard that angle before.
And I am more and more upset with his statements as I reflect on the things I disagree with. And Genki, jump in and interrupt me if you had something on here. I just wanted to, I guess, kind of express. I feel like he's conflating on two different issues, things that should not be related. And I mean, Genki really already said it very well. To label China as a closed market is completely what I believe. That, in order to sell there, you need a joint venture, you need partners, and there's a lot of government restrictions. But for him to kind of, in the same idea, to mention that Japan is the same, it really isn't true. In order to sell well in Japan's market, you got to listen to Japanese gamers and what they're playing. I think a good example of an attempt to sell a new IP to Japanese gamers from the US, but it is Japanese made, is Wild Hearts. I think that if EA funded, Koei Tecmo to make Wild Hearts, that's them saying, "Hey, we want to try." And I don't. Maybe that game doesn't sell well, but I think it's a good effort to say Monster Hunter's popular. We're gonna try to take our own spin on it. But if Kotick is looking at his more expensive published IPs and outside of Call of Duty, because that is kind of popular there, and saying, "Oh, we don't sell there," it's just a poor excuse on you not doing your research, not finding more affordable ways to get either Nintendo gamers or PlayStation gamers or PC gamers into your ecosystem, whatever Activision Blizzard was doing with BattleNet or what have you. And even Overwatch, I think, was a good attempt. So they know that they could focus on IPs developed in Japan that could sell well in Japan, or even in America. I just think it needs to be a specific type of game. I mean, look at Tsushima, right? Made by a Western dev. They did a lot of research on certain things that I think got it the perfect Famitsu score that's so rare. So that's another good example. And then the other thing that he's conflating is oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I have a brain fart. It had to
Is
do
it
with
the console or mobile or something?
yes, exactly. Thank you. So I think he was mentioning Nintendo having some of the most iconic characters that sell in games worldwide. So to me, what I'm thinking he would use as uh, a bullet point incorrectly is saying, look how much the Mario IP has sold in its history worldwide, right? Hundreds of millions or 100 million plus. And then look at things like individual sales for Mario Kart worldwide, even though those aren't mobile games. But I think he says, hey, we release a new IP. It doesn't sell 50% attach rate to all hardware like a Japanese IP does. And then he might look at something like, which might be a little more accurate, something like the Pokemon game. What's the AR Pokemon game where people were walking around?
Oh,
Um,
Pokemon Go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he might be using something like Pokemon Go as an example of that, but it's just so few and far between.
Right.
And we were just talking about Level 5. They have what was it called? Two Worlds or Between Worlds. That game is IP blocked, and that's usually the case. That people not in Japan, they can't even get there
Oh
without
yeah.
a
That's right.
VPN use. So that just makes me really upset because I think he knows that. I just think he is desperate to get this done. And so he will make it look like the CMA is ignorant or FTC is ignorant or whoever. Uh, but he knows that there are more uh, specific issues with saying what he's saying and claiming that, you know, Japan is somehow difficult market to enter based on legality. It's just not true.
No, it's not. But yeah, it's actually not based on legality. And you brought up Overwatch, Kofi, which is actually fairly popular in Japan. So I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but he must know that.
Right.
He has They have player numbers and they see the regions where people are playing, and I'm pretty sure Overwatch is fairly. That would be like, I'm trying to think. I think that would probably be the most popular thing they have. I know. I'm pretty. I'm pretty sure the previous, like the older Diablo games, did fairly well. Is it Diablo? That is Blizzard, right? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did fairly well as well. So I don't know, like, what is he talking about? Like, you just have to make games, like you said, like that. Like, and you brought up Wild Hearts. That's a good example of, like, EA was like, okay, let's partner with a Japanese developer. Koei Tecmo, our publisher in their own right. They could have, conceivably published it themselves, right? But they partnered with EA so they can have, I guess, like, because they want to have more of a push in the West, and it also, I guess, lowers the burden on Koei Tecmo, right? But they made some things like, oh yeah, so it's Monster Hunter. It's got like a Japanese medieval theme to it, So that's, a good attempt. And you got a Ghost of Tsushima, which is set in, I guess it's set a few hundred years ago or something like that, right?
Yeah, Mongol invasion, like 1200, yeah.
Oh really? Right, yeah. So it's set a long time ago. They did a lot of research. It's set in Japan, and then therefore it did really well in Japan because it resonated with people there, right? So you just have to, like, do your research and stuff, and, like, you should know that if you're just selling, like, Activision, their main thing is like Call of Duty, and it's like a war like a war kind of simulator thing where they had a load of them that, something that are based on World War II, and you can, see why that would not be as popular in Japan, right? I think that one Vanguard or whatever, I think that bombed in Japan. That one that was a World War II one, right? So you can see why those wouldn't do as well there. But they have things that have done well there, and you have to, like, it's not just, obviously it doesn't just apply to Japan. It's like other regions as well. You have to know that market and research the market and engage with local developers and local people there to see what would sell there. But yeah, with Japan it's not a legal issue. Yeah, with China there's the whole, like, you have to go with another. You can't just go there like, well, we're selling this, we're doing this. You've got to partner with, like, another company and stuff like that. And I'm sure Activision must have done it, because I don't know. Hold up, what was it? No, wasn't Activision? Was it Activision or Activision Blizzard that was partnered with Tencent, and they recently removed all Blizzard games from.
You might be right about
from China.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen recently? Was it Blizzard or was it some other company? I feel like it was Blizzard.
Oh yeah, it was with Call of Duty, I think.
Oh.
Did they remove all? I'm sure. Let me Google this. Hang on. I'm gonna mute.
I think that happened, like, right before the pandemic, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it happened recently. They, like, maybe like end of last year sometime, they, like, cancelled their contract with Activision, or, like, I think it was for Call of Duty, or I don't know, some Activision game.
It was it's Blizzard. Yeah, it is Blizzard. Okay, it's article from The Verge. Hang on, let me copy this and put it in the other window. Yeah, it says Blizzard. I'll get rid of this nonsense. Let's get this off screen. Blizzard games go offline in China. NetEase and Blizzard, unable to come to an agreement, are forced to shut down most Blizzard game services in mainland China. So this is dated January 23rd, 2023. So this is end of last month. Today's the day most Blizzard games go offline in China after failing to reach a deal with publishing partner NetEase Blizzard has shuttered most of its games in the country, including World of Warcraft, Overwatch 2, and Diablo. Diablo Immortal remains unaffected, distributed through a separate publishing deal with NetEase. So yeah, they tried to extend the deal by 6 months, and the article goes on to explain like why that's happened. There's a lot on here that's been shared. So okay, this makes no sense because this literally just happened, and he's in this interview after this has happened, right? So he knows that it's his company. They were partnered with NetEase because you have to partner with a company in order to sell your stuff in China, and they just shut down all of the Blizzard games in China. They just shut them down. They're gone. So, okay, here's the translation of the post on the World of Warcraft head read. Okay. We approached NetEase again last week for assistance and exploring a 6-month extension of our existing agreement, which is based on terms NetEase has agreed to in 2019 to allow everyone to continue playing without disruption and for Blizzard to continue exploring a reasonable and long-term path forward in the China region. Unfortunately, NetEase did not accept our proposal to extend the existing game service agreement following last week's extension negotiations. So yeah. So that's even more bizarre that he would say that, don't you think?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think that this deal will probably go through still. I don't know if I'm being a pessimist or what have you, but
I think it'll go through with concessions. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would buy that too.
Yeah. Genki, what do you think? I know you've got to go, like, pretty much now, right?
Oh yeah, I have to go soon. Oh yeah, I think it will go through, but they'll just make, as you said, just make some concessions. But yeah, I'm not really bothered what the result is. Because, I'm not really interested in those Activision games.
Not even Spyro. What's the other one? Crash Bandicoot.
The only one I was interested in was the Tony Hawk.
But
then
games.
they stopped remaking those. So
well, they did a remake, and then was they supposed to do another remake?
Yeah, I think they were supposed to do 3 and 4 as well.
Oh no, I know what happened.
Yeah,
you're right. It got cancelled, and they put the team that was doing it, and they moved them over to Call of Duty. Is that what happened? Yeah,
and I think they moved the studio. It's like Vicarious Visions or something.
Yeah, they're kind of like low key, sort of not exactly shut down, but not.
Yeah, they just moved them to the Call of Duty team. So yeah, that's a shame. So yeah, they're basically kind of shut down already. Well, they're not working on Tony Hawk's anymore. So yeah, that was the only one I was really hyped for, and I was hoping I would have been happy if like Microsoft could keep them alive and stuff, but it doesn't look like that would happen if they got acquired.
If they
I'm
got
not really bothered.
Acquired, like, I don't know if like, because Microsoft has this whole thing where they kind of let these companies that they acquire just do whatever they want. So would they say, oh, okay, well, you're not gonna have as many studios in Call of Duty, and now now we're telling you need to develop a Tony Hawk game. Like, I don't know if that would actually happen just because of how they've managed their studios. Like, because like why they've got Rare, and Rare are not making well, there was a Battletoads game that came out that wasn't made by Rare. It was some other company. I think they consulted Rare or something, but it wasn't Rare making it. And they're doing a Perfect Dark game, but Perfect Dark is being made by not Rare. It's
Crystal Dynamics.
The Initiative and Crystal Dynamics. Yeah. So not Rare. Rare were doing this game. That who knows what happens to that game. I forgot what it's called. Wild. I forgot what it's called. It looks really cool. Out of all the Microsoft stuff that I've seen, that was the thing that I was the most interested in. That looks really cool, and I wanted to see what that was. But apparently it's like they rebooted it, or they didn't know what they were doing, or something like this. That was the thing of all the Microsoft stuff. I was like, okay, that one would be one I could potentially be interested in to play. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't know what's happened to that. Kind of disappeared, right? So
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Oh, we had a comment from Kika in the Discord. It says, I hope it comes out. Are you referring to that private server for Dragalia Lost, which is now closed down? That was basically Nintendo's attempt to there was like, so they made like mobile games just like Nintendo IP, and they haven't done that. They didn't, in terms of like mobile games and that you want to be hit, they didn't do that well, right? So they're like, F it, let's just, instead of trying to do something with Nintendo IP, let's make it just make new IP. It's just a gacha game. We're just making a gacha game. It's just an anime gacha game, and that's what Dragalia was. Dragalia Lost was just like, F it. We're not even gonna bother with that anymore. We're just gonna make some new IP, just a whatever random thing. That's what they did with was it not Psy Games? Was it Psy Games? I can't remember who it was.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't Psy Games. It was DNA or not DNA.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, just some like well-known mobile company that they partnered with.
Yeah,
or
it
whatever.
was DNA.
Was it DNA? Yeah, and yeah, it closed down. It was going for a few years. It's gone now. So yeah, that was like Nintendo, like, F it, let's just do whatever. Because
J2 Blue says Everwild. Is that what it's called?
oh, the
video
rare
game?
thing. That's it. I knew it was Wild something. Thank you, Everwild. Yeah. What happened to that? Yeah, what did you think about that, Kofi? Did anything that looked pretty cool?
Yeah,
I thought it did.
So the original, I think it was the Xbox event in 2019.
Oh my god,
Oh, wow.
Was it
That long ago?
2019?
Was it
Maybe it's
2019?
2020. But when I first saw that video, I got really excited because Sea of Thieves was not my cup of tea, and I was excited that Rare is getting another shot at another new IP.
Yeah.
And then we heard news that that game wasn't really in production around the time of that video being announced, that it was more of a concept. They didn't have an idea of, gameplay mechanics, a lot of the finer details. Then, there were rumors of tumultuous, disagreements on the direction of the game. And I think most recently, like maybe since 2021, it's been kind of quiet.
Yeah. I haven't
And
heard anything from Rare at all, right? We haven't
Right.
heard anything.
And sometimes I just get concerned with how Xbox kind of manages studios that that they have control over. Maybe this is an internal issue with just Rare. I can't really tell, but it's just like from the outside, because I kind of left the Xbox ecosystem. I love some of their older IPs, but I knew that I should just wait until I start to see in some of these games I love returning. And as I wait, I'm like, I saved money because I didn't buy an Xbox, right? I didn't subscribe to whatever thing. And now, like, for example, if Gears 5 comes out, I buy that on Steam. Like, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
And I bought Forza Horizon 5, straight up.
Yeah.
That
But
game's good.
otherwise, I just kind of sit on the outside, and I'm like, whenever they are good, I'll jump back in. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
tough.
But yeah, Everwild looked interesting. Now I think they showed there was two different trailers. If I'm not mistaken,
You might be right.
there was
Yeah.
two different trailers, two different events. I can't remember, but it was years ago. It was years ago, right? I can't remember. But it looked really interesting. Like, the art style was really striking. But if you said they didn't know what the gameplay was, then I guess they were still even just deciding on that part. So I don't know. In that case, it's I don't know why you're showing it to us then. Why are you showing something that you it looks cool, the art style and everything, but it's not a game yet. It's just a concept. So yeah, they showed that one a bit too early, I think. But hopefully they can do something. And I don't know, Microsoft maybe has some issue managing studios. So if they bought Activision Blizzard has its own issues and stuff like that. But I just don't see how them getting bought by Microsoft means that they're suddenly gonna do gangbusters in like China, Japan, and other parts of Asia, especially when they literally just had this deal that they used to have with NetEase that's just completely fallen through, meaning that their games that were popular have shut down. They shut down World of Warcraft and all this. Overwatch 2, all these games have all shut down in China. And I'm pretty sure those games were fairly popular in China. So that's their own issue. I don't know like how. I just don't see how that like. What is that going to change? What is it? What would change that they being bought by Microsoft would mean that would stop, as he says, China and Japan or Asia or whatever dominating? It's not going to make any difference. So what's going to change? Anyway, that's just my opinion. Oh, Kika in the Discord says Vicarious Visions merged with Blizzard, right? Yeah. So they're not. Okay, yeah, they actually merged, right? No, I don't. You said it was
so
Psy Games that made Dragalia Lost? It was Psy Games.
Psy Games.
Was it Psy
Okay.
Games? Okay, but just
Didn't think it was
Dragalia.
them.
Okay, they just did Dragalia, but not the other games. Not the other ones. Right, yeah. Yeah, so that one's shut down. Nintendo's their mobile games have not been successful at all. So this is what I think that he was saying, like, oh, there's Japanese companies that are developing, that are dominating, like, did he say dominating in mobile or something? Because they're not. Like he said, can you even name it, like, a really big, I mean, you could say, like, that, even that Final Fantasy, Brave Exvius, that's, I mean, is that popular? You know which one I'm talking about, right?
That's not big like that.
A friend of mine loves that game. He's the only person I know that plays it, though. He always hits me up and says, "Hey, Kofi, man, this game is so great." Okay. That's really it.
Would you say that is Square Enix's most popular mobile game, that Brave Exvius one?
That other
In Japan,
one
the
died
Dragon
already,
Quest
right?
ones are big.
They just had a Dragon Quest one that shut down. They just shut down Dai's Adventure or something like that.
Oh yeah, Die. Yeah, that's more of like a spin-off thing.
And now they literally just announced a new Dragon Quest game. That's, I think it's been made by Koei Tecmo. It seems like it's a hack and slash type. If I think it might be like a Warriors type game, isn't it, or something? Or no, or like a battle royale Warriors game. I think that's what it is. And I think Koei Tecmo might be making it. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but it was some Dragon Quest game that was announced recently. Yeah, and then they had like Square Enix tried like battle royale. They made a battle royale that no one was asking for. Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, which is shutting down or has shut down. I'm not sure which one. So yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's shut down already.
It's shut down already. I never even got to try it. It was dumb. Like, why did they? Anyway, I'm getting into a side thing. Like, why did you only put that on mobile? What did you expect? So yeah, but yeah. If there's anything else you want to talk about, we can quickly do that, and then like we're gonna end the show. Or anything else you want to say?
I'm good. Does Kofi want to talk about anything?
I think I'm good too. I guess one game I just wanted to mention really quick that I think is a Switch exclusive. Coming out of that direct was Rain Code.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
okay.
Yeah.
Pretty excited for that.
What kind of game is it?
It looks like it's a detective game.
Is it like
but
a visual
it has-
novel, or like does it sort of like?
It looks like there's a third-person adventure aspect. You're in
Yeah.
a city and you have to interact with people, but then confrontations are almost like Danganronpa, where you have to kind of like, decide the right choices when you're interviewing somebody to figure out what they're hiding. And it's like a combat, but it's like conversation.
Yeah.
Like you're not hitting the person, you're like saying things that would incriminate. I don't know if I'm saying it
That's
correctly.
cool.
The way you're describing it,
yeah.
Kofi, is how it looked. It's how it looked. Like you are. There is a third person. Like you're running. It looks like you are running around in third person. But then those quote unquote battles or whatever, or, confrontations. It's like you are making choices, and that's what they had, like words flashing up on the screen. And you can see the choices, and then they got the I guess the person you're interrogating is kind of like standing there, and you're making these choices and stuff like that, and you're doing investigations. So I think you described it pretty well. I think the way they described it was like a investigation adventure type thing or something like that. How the developer described it. Investigation adventure. It looks pretty cool. That looks I can't remember when they said that's coming out.
I think it's June 30th. Was it June? I think it's June 30th.
Okay, so it's coming out. I guess that's technically second half of the year, just about second half of the year. So yeah, that looks really cool. Yeah, very very interesting looking game, and it's got obviously it must be the same artist from Danganronpa, right? Because it looks exactly the same. The art style's the same, and I did post an image of like the what do we call it? The box art is for the box art for that game is really cool. Hang on, I've got it. Oh god, why is my mouse is freezing? Hang on, let me just quickly show you this box art, and then we'll end out with that. I'm trying to tweet out that box art. Yeah, here it is. This box art. I think this box art goes hard. This is the actual box art. I guess they're going to put the name on the front on top of the image. But if you look on the YouTube channel, that this is the actual what it's going to look like. And what they were showing before, because I thought what they showed before was the box art, what we saw before, but that's not. This is the box art, apparently. So the text is going to go somewhere on here, but this is really cool. I guess these are all different characters and people you interrogate and stuff like that. And you have the ghost that he's walking around with, like the main character. It looks like Whisper. I'm sorry, it looks like Whisper. You made a character that looks like, but I guess if you make like a ghost looking thing, it's going to end up looking like a Whisper, right? But yeah, it's but this ghost kind of turns into, it looks more like a human at some points. It's like a human woman. So yeah, that looks really interesting. Looking forward to that game. It's so Kofi. There's too many goddamn games. I can't. I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing old ass games from like that I missed out on first time around. You know what I mean? I'm like going back and playing old games. Because I've probably said this with you before. I got into gaming like a few like just before the Switch came out. Basically, it's when I got back into gaming, right? So
nice.
I haven't like all these people. When people like, oh well, I wasn't lucky enough to have my own like PlayStation or N64 or whatever. I had a Game Boy and then I had like a secondhand DS or whatever. That was like my own thing, and I played like obviously like friends like PS2 or whatever, but I never had like my own one, right? So like I had like years of not really being into games, and then I got back into it. But as I said, that's several years back now. So there's a whole like 25 years worth of games that I missed out on, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to go back and people say, oh, you play this, this game and it's on. I'm like, okay, but I didn't play these games. So I don't like when we're talking about games and stuff. Like I will straight up and tell you, I'll say, well, I haven't played it. You know, people talking about that, they'll talk about a certain game, and like I've never played it, so I can't comment on it. All I can say is that I'm trying to catch up on some of these games I missed out on. But yeah, let's end the show on that note. And I do have an end screen. Oh wait, we just got one more comment. J2 Blue says, I was looking it up and I think Fire Emblem is co-owned by Intelligent Systems. That would probably explain why they are the only ones that make Fire Emblem for Nintendo. So is it actually, because Kike was saying that it was like they own the merchandising rights, but the Nintendo handles the games or something like that. Yeah, I've never found it. I mean, yeah, it's only just co-owned by Intelligent Systems. I've actually never seen a definitive answer for that, of like who owns Fire Emblem. But yeah, it's probably most likely it's co-owned, right? And because when you look at the what do you call it? The copyright, it always says Intelligent Systems Nintendo on it. So yeah, it's probably correct. It's probably both of them. All right, okay. On that note, we're going to end the stream because it is extremely late for Genki, and I always keep him up every week, and I always apologise, Genki. I'm sorry. I hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Cool.
Thank you for everyone that turned out, and I don't know how many people are still here. J2, Mousy, Gisman Vaughn, Roche, David Costa RPGs, he went ages ago. Bad Latency with Game Killer, Afro Punk here. We had Jago. Guess Jago. Jago's right. Jago's being responsible. Is working. Jago, I told you to skive off and go to that. And oh, I tell you, I met the developers of what's it called again? Theatre Rhythm. For something, they just had a random. Oh, I can show. Let me show that on screen before we end quickly.
Yeah. How was that event? Was it good?
It was cool. Do you know what? Right, I was like the second to
Did they
last.
give you something?
By the time, well, I just got a signed art card. They were just signing stuff, but it was
Okay.
kind of weird because the game, like the actual game, isn't out yet. Like at the time that I went there, so it's not like you could get the game and then because a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I can't make it. Can you buy the game for me?"
I'll pick up the game for me.
And
Okay.
yeah, but they wasn't selling them because it wasn't out. So I'm like,
Yeah,
why
it's
did you
not
why did you
out
do it before
The
the
16th, I think.
the thing? Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the picture that I got with them is unfortunately I don't look good because like when they was taking the picture, it was really dark in the place, right? So I had to put night mode on, and the woman that was doing it, I was like, oh, you have to wait a couple of seconds for it to process. I was looking at that, and unfortunately it caught me at like a not very flattering angle. Where, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Here, I actually met them. This is, yeah, so this is Suzui-san and Hazama-san. I didn't get the translator's name, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what his name was.
Oh, okay. Was it the big like old guy? No.
What, say that again?
Translator.
He's the
Oh,
guy,
yeah,
it's the
this
bald
guy.
guy in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bald guy, and there's me.
Yeah, he's like the Square Enix translator. He's
Oh,
in
you
the
know
video
him?
that I posted. No, I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know him. But I posted a video like of Xbox when they were in the UK. They did a show, and then the Shinji Hashimoto, the old Square Enix guy in charge of Final Fantasy and
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
He announced like all the Final Fantasy games coming to Xbox Game Pass,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that guy was translating it.
Okay, so he's like okay, so I'm guessing that these producers were doing like a tour or something because it just seems so random. Oh, by the way, just in because they only announced it 2 days before this happened. That's why it was like, you know, I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't have anything to sign. I just spoke to them
Okay.
briefly. These art cards in front of them, they signed it for me. They were really nice. They're really, really nice, pleasant guys.
They're
I
from
just,
Indie Zero, are they? Both or one of them?
I think they're,
I'm sure.
are they not both from Square Enix?
Or
one-
one of them was from. I'm not. One or both of them is from Indie Zero, which is the company that makes the theatre.
Oh, okay. Right,
It's
yeah.
written.
I wasn't. Oh, yeah, I wasn't really aware of where exactly they were from. You can see, look, I'm not even looking at the camera. It's like, cause I was looking at the woman, like, oh my god, is she doing the foot? And I was trying, and then they caught me like that. The first picture was even worse than this one. It was completely blurred, and my camera is trash. Like, I've got a really bad camera on my phone, so it didn't come out very well, unfortunately. But they were nice, and yeah, I just said, oh, you know, I played the 3DS one, and
Oh, was that in what's it called? Oh yeah, where was that?
It was that game in Westfield, in Stratford.
Oh, Westfield.
Yeah.
Stratford. Oh, is
And
that next to the Olympic Park?
Yeah, exactly, like there, and I got lost in there because
Okay.
I thought because they must have
big.
moved the game. It was somewhere else. I went to a completely different
Okay.
floor, and I got flustered because I was like, oh my god, I can't find this bloody thing. And you know, Westfield in Stratford is absolutely colossal. It's
Yeah, really
enormous.
big.
And I got lost, and I was like really fatigued and tired by the time I got there. And I was like the second. There was like I was the second to last person. There was just one couple behind me. I was the second to last person, and they had the things on display, like the game on like demo, whatever you could play. But I was so tired by the end of it, I just went straight home basically.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it was
You can play the demo.
yeah, I can download the demo. But yeah, it was interesting. That was cool. So yeah, so was that.
Nice.
Yeah, so there we go. Okay, yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Let's end for real now.
Okay, thanks.
Stream ending.
Okay.